Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
And welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. I like the enthusiasm today. It is well-founded, Jimmy. Well-founded.
Yeah.
Yay indeed, and thank you. And my name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Welcome in, because we have some wild stuff for you today. We're going old-timey today, which are always...
Fantastic.
To me, those are the best episodes. I mean, we went from...
When laws were different.
Well, we went from Johnny Manziel, who's as like kind of new-timey as you can be. He's a social media douchebag. Like he's as...
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to somebody who's just a completely different thing here, which is the most fun.
Great.
Before we get to that, though, very quickly, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you need to know, where you need to go to know to get tickets for everything.
There it is.
Rest of the year are on sale for Small Town Murder Live. All these cities, there's tons of them. You got to get your tickets now because they're selling fast. Like Minneapolis, San Diego, they're almost sold out. There's a few that are almost sold out. We have a couple that are sold out. Salt Lake City, Boston, and that's in November, Boston. So get your tickets now, please. Thank you so much for doing that. And of course,
the snow's going to dry up, and then it's going to come back.
And then we'll be there. Yeah, it's going to get warm and then cold again. The Red Sox will not win, and then we'll be there again. They'll have hope. It'll be dashed, and then we'll be there. Right about in the middle of when you're watching the Patriots not win next year. Since it's sold out, we can say that because what are you going to do?
So who knows? Those Celtics are great.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. So get your tickets to all that. Also, 420 virtual live show, April the 20th. We're going to do a virtual live Small Town Murder, and it's just like a regular live show, except you're in your living room. We're doing the same thing, the visuals and everything like that. It's available for 7 days after the 20th as well, so you can buy it at any point and watch it and do whatever you want with it. Watch it a bunch of times, and I'm going to get Jimmy so stoned.
What? Yeah.
And we're going to see if he can follow a story while he's really stoned. It's going to be very, very fun. I can't wait to do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. You definitely want Patreon. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of this stuff here. You want to be there. We have a whole back catalog. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get all the back bonus episodes. There's 150-something of them. And then every other week, you get 2 new episodes.
Oh, what is it this week?
This week, we're going to do, first of all, you think your team sucks, everybody out there with a shit team? Well, they can't be as bad as the 0-26 Tampa Bay Buccaneers that started out there. We'll find out the beginnings of that franchise and how it was just a disaster, and how'd you pick creamsicle uniforms. It's a funny story, actually. And why do you have a man winking at me from your helmet? The whole thing. We'll talk all about it.
Why is he flirting? We're playing football.
A little flirty here. We'll talk all about that. Then for Small Town Murder, a very requested episode, Jodi Arias. Let's get all inside the mind of Jodi Arias. The mind, Jimmy. The mind of Jodi Arias.
Let's all get inside Jodi.
But there's a lot of entry points there. She can let you in from any place, Jodi Arias. So we'll talk all about that and her horrible murder. And man, she's mean. She's really mean.
That's a bad woman. That is a bad
wow,
woman.
Is she nasty? Yeah. So we'll talk all about that. So that is patreon.com/crime and sports. And you will definitely get a shout out at the end of the show where Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name. So that said, he wants to get it right. He really does.
Doing my best.
That said, let's get to a name that we can't mispronounce. Our subject of the week here. It'd be very hard to mispronounce Sam Crane.
Oh.
Regular spelling of both. So
easy enough.
Easy enough. He is Sam Byram Crane. Byrem. Byram.
That's a fascinating... E-M.
E-M. Byram.
Wow.
Yeah.
There used to be one with a U.
I've seen that. Yeah. Seems like more of a last name.
That's a name that's That's a name that's gone the way of the cuckoo bird, thank God.
Yeah,
not
the
dodo
bird.
The
cuckoo bird comes out every hour, Jimmy. He's good.
Flies over the nest.
The dodo, yeah, he flew one of them anyway. So, well, actually, it just flew over the nest. It could have been any bird that flew over it.
Could have been
anything. Could have been a 747 flew over the cuckoo's nest. It's really the nest we were more.
Could have been a biplane. We don't know.
He's old timey though, as we'll talk about here. So the name Byram doesn't really exist now, but it did when he was born on September 13th, 1894.
Holy shit!
Yeah, at that point, different names were in play. You could name your kid
old man.
You could name your kid Hezekiah with a straight face, and everyone would go, "That's a very nice name." It was fine. That's not funny at all.
Another one? You already have
Wow.
one.
Hezekiah too? Okay, sure. So he's born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in 1894. It's so funny too when you read about all the old-timey athletes, like they're all tiny people compared to the athletes now. You know what I mean? This guy in his peak playing days was 5'11", 154. He's 150.
Still taller than Johnny Manziel.
He's still taller than Johnny Manziel, but he's 154 pounds.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's
guy.
like malnutrition.
What did he do? What did he play?
He's a baseball player.
Oh,
baseball.
Okay.
You figure back then he'd have to be either a boxer or a baseball player to be, even being talked about now. He's a baseball player. He's an infielder, shortstop, and third baseman. We'll talk about him here. His nicknames are, they go back and forth, like the newspapers. Either Red, he's just Sam Red Crane, or Lucky. Everybody calls him Lucky, which when you read this story, it really is not, there's nothing lucky about this man, really. It's the luck must be, it ran out fast. like fucking.
Do they call him Red and he's got black hair?
They call him Lefty and he's a righty. Want to see a picture of him? Here, roll over here and I'll show you this picture. Check this guy.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Is that a missing tooth?
Right up front. Is
that just a recessed
No. Right up front there.
That's a smiler. That's not a good one.
No.
That's a bad lifestyle if you're missing.
Dude, he's like
teeth.
27 years old here.
Holy shit!
He looks like a 50-year-old man who lived through the Dust Bowl. Like, just got out the other side of the Dust Bowl at like 53, and he's like, "Whew, it's been a hard decade." All the ball players look like this back then.
What is that?
I think it's number one, being out in the sun, because there was all day games back then. So you were out in the sun for fucking. The pregame warm-up, so you were at the sun for 4 goddamn hours every day.
Not a lot of Noxzema on.
No sunscreen. Not only that, too, they drank every night like fish.
Yeah.
They would drink, ride a train to the next town, so you're sleeping like shit on a train, then get up and the game's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. So, and you got to be like out on the field at 10 in the bright sun. So you look like that when you're 27 if you do that for a while. Jesus Christ. So, he's born in Harrisburg, like we said. The other thing, too, the name Byram, there's several different websites have his middle name listed as Byron with an N, same spelling, but with an N at the end. But in his World War II draft registration, it's Byram with an M. So I think that's the way it goes, and
that's what the government tracks him with.
And according to his census records, his mother's maiden name was Byram with an M. So that's what he's named after. So the baseball sites have it wrong that have that.
Interesting.
His parents are Thomas and Jenny, and both from Pennsylvania. They're married in 1891. They had 4 kids, but as happened back then, only 2 of them lived past infancy.
Fascinating, right?
It's 50-50 back then. There's no, any small little disease. There's no inoculations. There's no anything to,
Even like in Deadwood, they're
no penicillin.
They're so concerned with this little girl that they're always like, oh, the poor thing.
There's nothing they can do for her.
That's what it is. Yeah, what are you going to
do? You can mash up some flour stuff and mix that and go, give her some drops of that. Either that or you could give her Dilaudid. You could give her heroin.
And cross your fingers. Hopefully that works.
Either heroin or mashed up flower leaves. One of the two. That's all we have for you.
Walk it off.
Or walk it off. So he grew up with his older sister, who's older than him by 2 years. Her name is Maggie. And his father was a railroad fireman at the turn of the century.
Is that
Which seems like an exciting job back then, because There was
or horrifying.
Well, yeah, obviously terrifying, but it seems like there was probably fires everywhere. Everything was run by fire
all the time.
Things were run by fire. There's just constant fires, explosions. Everything's on fire. So,
and you're just constantly maintaining the fire.
Yeah.
And if you turn your back too long to have a cigarette, now the fire's out.
To have more fire, then there's more fire than the fire's on. So I mean, everything is fire based back then.
Right.
It's wild. So candles and shit. So by 1910 though, his father was a locomotive engineer.
Oh,
that's right. With the big bill on his cap and the whole thing, which
the pinstripes, the white and blue.
Which back then that was like the coolest job in the world for a kid. This is pre-professional athletes really and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's no rock stars. Oh man, that guy drives a train. That's fucking awesome.
Stand out by the tracks, wait for one to go by, and he leans out and waves.
Yeah, gives you one of those. You're like, oh man, he gave me the steam whistle. Holy shit!
He did it.
Damn it, that's fucking cool. That must have been real cool. And he gets to go.
Right.
Back then, there's no mobility, so these people in small towns, they'd do anything. They'd sign up for if there was a war, they were like, awesome, great, I get the fuck out of here. Take me wherever the shooting is. I don't care. So tired of this place.
He's leaving Mobile. He'll be in Atlanta tomorrow.
Oh man, yeah, it's going to be a while. So he plays baseball growing up, obviously, and to become a professional baseball player. Not a lot I don't have like his high school stats from fucking 1906. I really don't.
They didn't keep good track of those?
No, I don't think they published. They weren't published much. Not only that, Sam Crane, shocker enough, is not an uncommon name. It's really not. There's a few.
Is that right?
Few Sam Cranes floating around in the world, which is a problem also. So when you're looking at anybody named Sam Crane from the last, say, 130 years or so, a few come up. A few, once in a while, they'll come up.
They barely were able to keep track of how to spell his name, for Christ's sake. How are they going to keep track of his?
They still have it wrong now. I think half the baseball reference websites have it as Byron. So it's weird. So his first professional baseball team that he signs with is New Cumberland is the name of the team. I think it's in Pennsylvania. And then he moved to Greensboro after that in the South
Carolina.
In the North Carolina in the South Atlantic League. And at one point he's playing ball in Raleigh, North Carolina. So which is a hotbed for all sports down there. That's
beautiful place.
Yeah, okay. It's there's a lot of trees. Yeah. I mean, it's not, there's nice hills beyond that. It's fine. Raleigh itself
when we were
is
there,
more
it's
like
fucking horrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like summerish, right?
Oh, yeah, it was hot.
Warm, right?
It was warm.
And then where we stayed, like there was forest all around the hotel, and when we got there late at night, it was just noise.
There was
I didn't
a
know
lot.
what the fuck that.
We were in the woods.
I don't know what that noise
We
is.
were in the woods. We were like,
that's a lot of something out there.
Not a lot of hotels in the woods, really, in our gigs. Normally, we're in a downtown
in the
area.
woods.
We were like, whoa, I don't know what the hell. That's a fox screaming in the woods. Yeah. I know that because they scream behind.
I was scared to death.
If you don't have foxes where you live, when they scream out in the woods at night, it sounds like a woman being stabbed to death. They literally go, that's what you hear from the...
Oh, God, stop stabbing me.
What?
You're like, wow, those foxes.
Created that?
Holy shit. They're loud, dude. They're so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That's all that's happening in the woods out there. It's just forest of screaming, and then when the screaming dies down, then there's just this racket of, I guess, insects that are just making a horrific
insects
clicking and clacking.
Eating each other and signaling to other insects to fuck and everything else that's going on.
Let's live here, guys.
Yeah, fuck signals. There's insect fuck signals flying left and right. This sounds great.
Let's just settle down, start a fire, pitch the tents. We're home.
Raleigh, though, is also like a lot of not industrial parks, but like corporate parks. It's a lot of that shit too. So it's kind of like big parking lots and woods is kind of like what it's turned into, and some malls,
nondescript buildings,
7,000 churches, and 4 big colleges. Yeah. That's the area. Welcome, enjoy.
Here's your earplugs.
Yeah, dude, down there because my dad lived in Raleigh. So like, if you basically you got to be. If you're like on a Sunday and you want to go do anything, you can't do it anytime from like 11 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon because there's 8,000 dressed to the nines fucking people everywhere you go. Every IHOP is packed with fucking church people. It just they are out in force on a Sunday afternoon, and everything's packed. So anyway, he ends up being seen while playing in Raleigh. Does Sam Crane by Connie Mack, who is the legendary. I guess he's the owner, I think, of the A's back in the day. He's the guy that you'd see. There's old pictures of him wearing a suit in the dugout and like a rich guy hat. That's him in the dugout of managing the team with a suit on.
Is that the guy? Did he have a? No, never mind. Well, maybe was he with the Jackie Robinson stuff?
No. Connie Mack was. Okay. This is 1914. Connie Mack is finding him.
Okay.
So that was 30 years later.
Right.
I think Connie Mack was at least either dead or too fat to go find anybody by then. I'm not sure.
Because the guy that was involved with Jackie Robinson was a very well dressed straw hat guy too.
Talking Branch Rickey.
Is that him? Yeah,
Dodgers guy.
It is Mr. Rickey.
Branch Rickey. Yeah, Branch Rickey.
Yeah.
So he kind of created the minor league system of how it works now, and the farm team system and how to do that. That was kind of his creation, not creation, but his idea to make it like it is now.
Yeah.
So he's purchased here. Sam Crane is purchased by the Philadelphia Athletics, who
is that where they started?
Yeah, the A's went from Philly to Kansas City to Oakland. So they've had a couple of different stopovers in time here. Yeah. So this is at the end of 1914. So in the 1914 season, he gets in 2 games. And this is the Philadelphia A's, I believe, win the championship this year. Yes, they do.
And he contributed.
He 2 games. 2 games, 6 at-bats. He had 2 walks and 3 strikeouts.
Attaboy.
So, I mean, he's... No hits, but he's taken a lot of pitches, we'll say. So that's his 1914 season. 1915, he doesn't play a whole lot more. This is crazy. Look at this. The A's go from 1914, 99, 53, and 6. Okay. The 6 are games called due to darkness back then.
Got it.
And wouldn't get made up if they weren't, didn't have a game the next day against them or something. So 99, 53, and 6, and won the whole thing. We're champions. Okay, 1915, they're 43, 109, and 2.
Oh, my, what happened?
That is a disgrace. That's a fucking disgrace.
Did everybody quit?
That's probably they sold off their players. Also, 1915 is when the Federal League came, 1914, 1915. There was another league that came up at this point, and this is just, I could have some facts wrong because I'm going off of memory, but this is where another league, a rival league sprung up and hired a lot of the players, a lot of the good players away, so they have like 1 or 2 seasons with that league before it folded, and then they came back to the majors. So they might have come in and bought the A's good players. Somebody might have done that. There might have been, who knows what happened. So,
or even just two pitchers, and that'll ruin everything.
Yeah, back then your big star, I mean, you could fuck everything up because pitchers pitched every 3rd day back then. So,
right.
So 1915 though, it's just crazy. He only is in 8 games. Our guy here, Sam Crane, 8 games, 23 at bats. He hits .087.
Fantastic.
.087, which is not too good. He has.
Is that even? You can call yourself a baseball player doing that?
He has 2 doubles. I mean, seems like he's maybe a defensive replacement, maybe a pinch runner type of guy. I don't know what the point of having him is, why they had to have him so badly, but I'm not sure. 1916, though, he really stretches his legs and gets in 2 games. So,
all right.
In 3 seasons, he's been in 12 games.
I've almost played as much as that.
That's incredible. But he can go out every day after the game and go, yeah, I'm a pro ball player. He never plays.
That's amazing.
He had 4 at-bats this year. 4.
Wow.
4. He hit .250, so, I mean, that's nice. He had a hit.
He had 1 hit?
Yeah, good for him. This year, the A's are even worse than they were the year before. They are 36, 117, and 1.
I guess at that point, you don't even want to tell people you're a ball player.
Not for this team.
No.
You're like, who do you play for? There's a Sandlot team I play for. Yeah, we're pretty good. We're in
I'm going to
second
try
place.
out next year.
Yeah, not great. So by 1916 or so here, after the 1916 season, I guess the A's say, why do we have this guy? Because we don't play him. He doesn't do anything. So they trade him to the Washington Senators.
Okay.
For Turner Barber. Listen, he got traded for 3 guys and money. So
they really sold the shit out of him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like a thoroughbred that they've been holding back. You know what I mean? Not letting him really bust out. And I don't know what the deal is, why they think he's going to be so good. But he's like, I don't let him play because I don't want to hurt him or nothing. I don't want to damage him.
3 guys and money.
And money. How bad were these 3 guys? Turner Barber, Jack Bentley, and Alva Williams. They must have been terrible, just fucking awful. And cash.
Wow.
And cash, which was worth. It's cash back then. That's a lot. Yeah. So it's worth it's amount in cash. So 1917 he plays for the Washington Senators. They are 74, 79, and 4. So mediocre. Okay. Very mediocre. Their attendance, though, they're dead last in the league here. 8 of 8 in attendance. 89,682 people for the season.
On the season.
For the we're talking, what was it, 154 games back then, half at home.
That's like 8,000 people?
77 games.
Is that 800 people per game?
77 games. They had fucking 89,682 people a game. They average like 1,300 people a game, 1,200 people a game.
Barely over 1,000 each game.
That is, and Griffith Stadium's a pretty decent sized park too. Like this is ridiculous.
You go to a Senators game to get some time alone.
Yeah. They wonder why the Senators and the fucking Washington kept losing teams and getting them back because nobody goes there. I don't know what it is. They don't go there. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, 89. That is wild. That's the most incredible statistic I've ever heard in my life. So that year, though, he plays in 32 games. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Has 95 at bats. He hits 179, a robust 179. He had 2 doubles, 17 hits, 6 runs, no steals, 4 RBI. He's not very good.
They're using him though. Yeah,
they're using him for something, but I don't know what here.
I mean, who gives a shit? Only 1,300 people are seeing this.
That's what I mean. Nobody's watching anyway. So then 3 years go by where he's not in the majors. I don't know if it's because he hit fucking 087, 250, and 179 in his last 3 years, or if there's something else. I don't know if the war has something to do with this. I don't know if
he's averaging like 112.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot. World War I was happening, so you had another league pop up and World War I, which were both guys went and fought in World War I. I mean, Christy Mathewson, who was one of the top 3 pitchers in the league, completely destroyed himself from mustard gas, or he got gassed and he couldn't pitch anymore, and he ended up dying young. It's fucking guys went to actual war back then. Yeah. These guys weren't like stars. Even in World War II, a lot of the ball players that went kind of were on a different detail. They were on the ball playing detail, and they were doing that.
Yeah.
They weren't all like Ted Williams up there running fucking flying missions and shit.
Dogfights.
Yeah. So back in World War I, though, you just went in the Army. You were in the Army. There was no,
they give you a gun and shave your head.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit that you played for the Washington Senators. Who cares? That's not going to help.
Right.
So no matter what happens here, he doesn't play again until 1920. And I see that he was playing for Indianapolis of the American Association, some minor league team here. They traded him. They trade Sam Crane to the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh,
yeah, to complete an earlier deal. He's a player to be named later. This guy, and a player to be named later. He's the guy who got thrown in later.
Take this one. Got it.
On that was February 13th. Hank Schreiber was the guy that they got in return. I think it's funny that minor league teams are trading with major league teams. The major league team isn't just buying the contract like they do now. They're trading.
Yeah, right.
Imagine that shit.
We'll give you some things.
Yeah, that's so weird. So this year for Cincinnati, 1920, he plays in 54 games, 155 plate appearances, and he hits, you ready for this, a whopping 215, Jimmy. He's a heavy bat.
Hey!
215. Now, he is a middle infielder, so back then they did not expect offense from a middle infielder, really, but 215 is pushing it, I got to say. His on-base percentage is 261. You got to do better than that. Or that's that's his on-base. His slugging, 243.
He's getting it.
Wow.
He's getting after
that
it.
is,
he's trying.
Fuck. I feel like that's just not good. So he has 31 hits, 4 doubles, no triples, no homers, 5 steals, but he's caught stealing 4 times. So just not doing
he's slow too.
Yeah. Standing and shit on top of everything.
Yeah.
So 1920, the Reds go 82-71-1. They finished third in the National League. And I have his salary, actually, for the first time.
Fantastic.
In 1920, for the Cincinnati Reds, at age 25, which is when that picture was taken, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Where he looks 60. He was 25 in that picture. He made $2,700.
Wow.
Which is the 2023 equivalent of $40,387.95.
I was just about to say that's a lot more than I expect him to be making.
Yeah, but also less, too, at the same time. Guys just didn't make a lot of money back then. So, 1921, he comes back to the Reds, and this year this is the most he's plays in his career to this point. He's a platoon guy. He's platooning at shortstop with another guy. He plays in 73 games, so they play him half the games. He has 215 at-bats. He hits .233.
Okay.
233, 50 hits, 10 doubles, no homers, 2 triples, 16 RBI, 2 steals, and caught stealing 5 times. Let's just say don't steal.
Why are you running, man?
Don't steal. You have
5 of 7, you're caught? Why would you even go?
He has 7 steals and 9 caught stealing in his whole career so far, so just stop doing it. Stop fucking doing it.
You're not good at this.
Yeah. The Reds kept him in 21 because their main shortstop had threatened to retire in spring training. So, the Oakland Tribune commented, this is amazing, quote, Sam Crane, playing every day, has found himself, is batting elegantly, and is the most sensational shortstop anyone could wish to see. So
that is sweet words for those numbers.
Amazing. Well, back then you didn't have to hit very well. Like I said, if you were a slick fielding shortstop, I mean, right up until the 80s, you didn't. Even into the 90s, you could do. Omar Vizquel couldn't hit for shit when he first started playing. He turned into a good hitter.
But the vast majority of them are the leadoff hitter anyway.
Or the 9 guy or the 8 guy.
Yeah,
Before Cal Ripken, no one expected your shortstop to hit more than 3 home runs a year. Honestly, that's just what it was. Your shortstop was a little tiny guy who was fast and played great defense, and that was it.
And this one's slow. He can't even steal, for fuck's sake.
From what I understand, though, he's an incredible fielder, and that's what I keep reading about him, is he's a great fielder. Everybody says he's really slick at shortstop, and that counts as a lot back then. The 21 Reds here, 1921 Reds, they go 70 and 83. They're 6th in the National League. That's not very good here. That was, those are the stats I just read off, the 21, where he hit 233. The team was doing that. He made $3,800 that year.
That's a big raise.
Oh, yeah, equivalent to $63,510.95 now. And,
doing great.
And this is also the days of, except for the biggest stars, your Babe Ruths and things like that, guys had off-season jobs, period.
Right.
I mean, that went right up until the 70s,
Is that right?
Al Kaline's a Hall of Famer. He delivered appliances for Sears every offseason in his career.
Can you imagine?
He played for 25 years, and he played for the Tigers, be an all-star, accumulate Hall of Fame numbers, and fucking, when he was done, he'd be like, where would you like this? Where would you like this avocado Frigidaire? Would you like it in this corner? Okay, excellent.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Jesus, Jose Altuve popping up at your door to deliver your Samsung.
Just fucking Aaron Judge with a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Hey, where do you want this? Like, huh?
You didn't buy the hoses, so I can't hook it up.
Say Ohtani, but you wouldn't know what he was there for. Why are you here? I don't understand.
Who are you?
I don't understand you. I don't know. Shh. Click. Close it. I don't know what he was saying.
Police, I have a trespasser.
I don't know. He's saying something. Oh, he's gonna. I ordered that. Never mind. Sorry.
He's in a big a Best Buy box truck. I don't understand.
He's yelling in gibberish. I don't know what he's talking about.
And he's got a bat. It's scary.
He seems awfully animated, though. I'll say that much. He's not lacking what I'm saying. So, 1922, his contract is purchased by the Brooklyn Robins, who, if you don't know, the Dodgers were officially called the Robins until 1931.
Is that right?
Yeah, the Dodgers were a nickname because they were the Trolley Dodgers all around Brooklyn.
Right.
So,
what's with the Robins?
that was their original.
Birds?
Yeah, that's their. Well, there was the Orioles, the Robins.
Yeah,
that was a common thing.
It's not. Okay, yeah.
That was a thing.
I guess that makes sense with the Orioles, but because that's not really a threatening-ass bird. But
I mean, a robin is really not threatening, but
no, not at all.
Not at all threatening.
Were the sparrows taken? I'm sure
I think they were probably. Honestly, I think they probably were.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So he ends up going there to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Now, from this, I found, this is pretty fucking cool, by the way, I found a baseball card that was made of him this year.
Of him?
Yeah, of him. It is from the American Caramel baseball card series. So the American Caramel or Caramel, whatever the fuck you want to say, the American Caramel Company made baseball cards, as that's what they did back then. There was gum companies that made baseball cards, tobacco. There was no tops at the time, so there was no kind of standardized. There's just a bunch of different cards, and they made a card, and he was card number E120, issued in the 1922 set, which was 240 cards put out that year. Okay. And this set is kind of cool if you're a baseball card person. Yeah. 2 colors it came in. The photos.
What?
There was sepia for the American League players and green-blue to represent the National League players. Okay. So they differentiated the look of them that way. So that's on there. Sam Crane, shortstop, Brooklyn Nationals, because he's from the National League. And in 1922, when he's for the Dodgers here, when he's traded, he gets the Reds get Pete Kilduff and Ernie Kruger and $7,500 in cash.
Is that right?
For him, for Sam Crane.
He's great.
He's hell of a defensive player, which is a big thing that everybody wants. $7,500 is like 2 years of his salary, too. So I mean,
so much money.
I'd be like, so hold on a minute. I'm worth 2 players and twice what I get paid every year? It seems like I should be getting paid more.
Maybe I'd be compensated a little more.
Yeah, and then people go, hey, fucking baseball players with their union. Yeah, that's why. There's a reason why that, because these are the fuckovers they've gotten for so long. You trade me for twice what I make? Fuck you. This sucks.
You give that money and then only pay me half of that for this season.
That's crazy. So the Dodgers plan to have their regular shortstop, Ivy Olson, they're going to make him move over to second base so Crane could have the shortstop.
To make room for
Crane. He's going to come in and move over. But it didn't work, and Crane didn't play very well, and he lost his job to a guy named Andy High after only 3 games, which...
3 games?
What
did he do?
He had to be... did he make like 14 errors in 3 games? Because... 3 games is not...
He's going to lay down or not show up, right?
In baseball, that's not enough of a sample size for anything in 3 games. I mean, that's ridiculous. So... apparently on April 22nd, he positioned himself improperly twice trying to prevent double steals from taking place. So forget it. On the bench. Enough, on the bench with you, mister. Yeah, you're in improper
there's no
position.
Penalties for that, right?
No, it's just that he was in the wrong positioning and the coach didn't like it. Manager said, well, I don't like him not being in the right position. So he makes his final major league appearance on April 23rd. That's it. Okay. Not only do they sit him down, he's done.
They ruined his career over it.
Yeah, they went from we need this guy so bad we'll pay twice what he gets paid and give you 2 other guys to 3 days later, we don't want him at all. Throw him in the garbage, and no one else should take him either.
And I suggest none of you use him either.
None of you. He's seriously a hot garbage, just a pile of it.
He stands in the wrong place to protect for double steals.
Can you believe that? Double steals.
What a piece of shit.
You know how many double steals are going to happen now? For fuck's sake. I mean, I get that it was more aggressive back then, but double steals are still not that big of a part of the game. Like, they're just not.
Yeah.
They never were. I mean, they happened more back then, but they're still not a huge part. So
it doesn't change.
I'd be worried more about can he get to that ball in the hole than how is he on the where's he positioned himself on the double steals. That seems fixable.
Balls had to be raining past him, right? They had to.
I would have. This seems like one of those things where a manager would get mad that you're in position because he probably was in the wrong position, was told what to do, and then did it wrong again.
Fucking my game plan.
Fuck
You're fucking my game plan.
Jesus, can I get those 2 guys back? So this year he only played in 3 games. He had 8 at bats. He hit 250. He had a double, so good for him.
Tied his record for
He's killing it, man. That's his highest yet. Tied it back in 1916. He the Robins finished 76 and 78 that year. 76, 78 and 1. They were 6th in the National League. They did have. Here's the difference. Okay, last in the National League is 89,000 people for a whole season. The Senators' attendance. Their attendance here, the Dodgers, and this is middling. This is 5th out of 8 teams, is 498,865.
Holy!
So that's how far off the Senators are from anywhere near like an actual baseball team at that point.
That's why they're not around.
That's why they have been different teams repeatedly.
A lot.
So that year, though, he did get paid. He made $4,800 for 3 games with the Robins.
Is that right?
Absolutely. They still paid him, which is worth $85,477 nowadays. So
that's the best 3-game salary in history.
That's terrific. Yeah, I'll play 3 games and embarrass myself for that kind of money. Sign me the fuck up. I'll do it for $4,800. Never mind $85,000.
I'll do it as a joke. Let's go. What team's tanking?
So now that he has earned some money and he's a major league player, sort of, and he was at he was the most sought after. I'm going to say grace at this point for him.
That's a high point.
He's never going to play in the majors again, so he was standing atop the mountain ready to take a tumble here, I feel like. So
and he got his career payday, so it's time to head off to greener pasture.
You go buy some acres with that kind of money. You get $4,800 in your clutches. You go buy yourself that farm you've been dreaming of. Settle down with a little lady.
Only $3,000, may as well.
I mean, the goddamn depression's coming up. Save it.
You're about to be on top of the hill, son.
Oh boy! So from 23 to 27, he's going to play in the Pacific Coast League, which still exists. The PCL still exists.
Really?
Yeah, it's a minor league now, but back then it was a minor league, but it was a very good minor league. Like the PCL was like there was the majors, and then that was like right there. I mean, they had great teams. That's where Joe DiMaggio was found by the Yankees and things like that with San Francisco. There was a lot of great players playing in the Pacific Coast League.
Sure.
So he ended up on May 4th of 1923. He gets sent to Seattle of the Pacific Coast League for cash. They pay for him. And I believe that's the Rainiers, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know what it was back then. It might have been something different. So he had in 482 at-bats that year, he hit 266.
Great.
So that's good.
That's your league.
Yeah, he hit 250. That's 253 and 269 in 2 different years he played, so average to that. So the club wins the pennant in 1924, the PCL pennant. So that's awesome. Though 1925, he starts out with an injured ankle and only appears in about 14 games in 1925 through June 11th, and he's hitting 176. So he's hobbling around. He's not doing well. On June 11th, though, oh man, he has quite the day. This is, you want to see a guy have a meltdown like this just to go, whoa, this is incredible.
Look at it happen.
That day, in the second inning of the game, he commits 3 errors in the second inning.
Oh, no.
3 errors.
All alone?
Yeah, by just 3 errors. Blew 3 balls.
Shit.
And Portland scores, the team they're playing against, scores 7 runs and on only 2 hits.
Oh.
He's so pissed off that in the middle of the inning, while this is going on, he just fucking quits and leaves and never plays baseball again. He gets so fucking mad that he just says, God damn it, and he walks off the field, and they're like, what the fuck? He walked directly into the clubhouse, grabbed all of his shit out of his locker, got in his car, and went to Harrisburg, back home.
And quit.
Done.
He literally drove home.
Done. Didn't even... no thoughts about it. He cleaned out all his shit and was like, baseball's over, fuck this place, and just went in his car. Think about the meltdown.
Drove in the 20s.
3 fucking, that is wild.
That would take so long in that car.
Oh, God,
to
so
get
long.
from Seattle to Pennsylvania.
Bumpy dirt roads and shit. So this guy, that is incredible, though. Just second inning of a game on his 3rd error.
Unbelievable.
You know he just screamed, God damn it! Then echoed for miles, and then that was it. He just angrily marched off the field, stomping. How long did it take before they went, oh, he's not coming back out there. We got to... Hey, Franklin, get out there, dude. No, you're shortstop now. Go, go, go. Jesus Christ. How long did it take him?
Go play. We need you.
Do you think it took him a couple of minutes? Do you think they all stood there going, is he taking a leak? What's going on?
Is he getting water?
What's happening right now? Yeah. Is his glove?
Somebody followed him and saw it, right? And they're like, oh, no, he picked up car keys.
Does he have a hole in his glove, literally? He's getting it fixed? What's happening? Yeah, he got his keys. I don't know. I see him out there yelling taxi. I feel like... That's not
good. He wound up his car. I don't know, guys. I think it's over. I think he's done.
He cranked up his car, and I don't know what that means, but I heard like a big fucking horn going on.
Some auga shit, and he's leaving. He's certainly going.
Off. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, one of those, and it's cranked, guys. I don't know.
It's done. I think it's done.
Once it's cranked, it's cranked. You can't stop it then. You can't uncrank a car, is the old saying from back then, I think, right? So he takes off and he's gone. On July 24th, he does sign with his local club around Harrisburg, but he's done with the pressure of the big time here.
Sure.
This is in the New York, Pennsylvania League, though we don't know if he played any official games for the club. There's no stats there. In 1926, in February, Seattle, who still has his contract, they still own him, they sell him or sell his contract to Buffalo of the International League. And he plays. He's like, fuck it, really? I guess. Yeah. That team was half decent. He played in 110 games and hit 276.
He's got it back.
So, yeah, he's got it back. Also, I don't know what the International League's skill level is. I don't know how good of a league this is. But either way, he's over 30 now, too. So back then, that was kind of done for a baseball player.
Sure.
So the San Antonio Light, a newspaper, said, quote, one of the most valuable players among the Buffalo regulars is shortstop Sam Crane, who is daily pulling off marvelous fielding stunts, many of his stops appearing of impossible order. Not bad. But he is transferred to Reading that year. I guess they trade him or do something. And there he plays in 113 games in 27 and hits 196.
He lost it again.
Yeah, he lost it again. I don't know if he's like, this behavior seems like he's like a hardcore alcoholic. And then sometimes he cleans up for a minute. He has like a year where he's got it under control. And then other years he doesn't. That's what it seems like.
It's very inconsistent. It's ugly.
Yeah, it seems like he's got to be doing something to cause this level of inconsistency.
His personal life's got to be fascinating.
Well, you know what? Let's find out about it. Good timing there. It's perfect timing. Let's talk about his marriage here.
Yeah.
While he was playing with Seattle, he met and married Thelma V. Peterson. Thelma V. Peterson, who is a Minnesotan. She's a few years younger than him, worked as a stenographer for an insurance company in Seattle.
They've got stenographers,
Apparently they do. They got it all there at the insurance company in Seattle.
Write it all down.
Yeah. So, by the way, in 28, and this has to do with his personal life, he was offered a spot on a roster of Buffalo, and he turned it down. He didn't want to play anymore with them. He turned it down, though, not because he didn't want to play baseball, because his dick was really hard for some young chick he was chasing around who wasn't his wife, obviously.
Oh.
So he wanted to go chase this broad around, and he didn't want to fucking play baseball. So
didn't want to have to go to Buffalo.
Didn't want to have to go to Buffalo. And the woman who he was chasing around is a woman named Della Leiter. Della, and Lyter is Leiter. And so let's talk about her. And there's another guy we'll talk about here, John D. Oren, O-R-E-N.
Who's he?
Okay, well, he's another guy involved in this whole thing. We'll talk about this. All right.
Oh.
So Crane meets Della Leiter in 1927 when she's 25. Obviously, he's a little bit older, a few years older. She is described as a pretty divorcee. Okay. Now, Della, as we'll talk about here, she was married and had a child at 14.
Oh, no. She was raped and married.
In other words, yeah, she had an old guy molested her and then married her.
All right.
And made her raise her rape baby. That's
jeez.
At 14. 14, I'm sorry. You're not fuck off.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
They wouldn't even put those girls on Teen Mom back in the day. They'd be like, that's just sad. 16, at least you can drive her baby somewhere, but 14, Jesus Christ, that kid has Care Bears in her room. This is crazy.
Yeah. 14, a girl that's pregnant at 14, you're guaranteed the guy that did that is a
terrible
rapist.
person. Or a 14-year-old.
Probably not.
Best case scenario, it's a 14-year-old. That's the best case scenario. His dad is in 9th grade.
Yeah.
That's best case scenario.
And probably 98% are not.
That's
the worst part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so Della is who he wants to chase around. She, like I said, a pretty divorcee. They started seeing each other in 1928, and that's when his wife Thelma filed for a divorce because, obviously.
She found out.
Yeah, she found out. So Crane sets up a little apartment, little love nest for him and his lady here, him and Della, and he mortgaged his mother's house to do this, by the way.
Oh, he borrowed against mom's crib.
I'm not going to play baseball because then I have to be in Buffalo and not in Harrisburg with this chick. Right. And I'm going to mortgage my mother's house so we can, have ourselves a little love nest. So he is thinking with his dick exclusively at this point.
For sure.
For sure. His dad had died in 1917, so leaving the mother all the house and all that kind of shit. So everybody said that Sam was just going crazy for Della Leiter. Just
I'm sure.
Losing it. They said he didn't think of anything else, didn't talk about anything else. He's got to get home to her, boy. That's all there is to it. This is
good news. Only 7 years of this, and the kid's gone anyway.
Yeah, that's going to be all not your problem anymore.
Almost done,
Sam. This is a guy who knows he is hitting above his fucking weight class here. This is a guy who knows that
he's swinging out of control right now.
Yeah, he's like this. I'm hitting cleanup, and I shouldn't be. I should be hitting eighth.
No way. This is sustainable. I'm going to get it while I can.
This here's cleanup pussy is what we got here. I get that eighth, ninth hitter tail is what I should be going after, and I'm getting clean up. I'm getting Babe Ruth pussy here. I can't. This is crazy. That's what he's thinking.
Bottom of the lineup gash is no good. I don't want that. I don't want the pitcher's about to hit. No, thank you.
I'm hitting right before the pitcher. No, not me.
Pitcher pink's no good.
Yep. This is 3-spot. This is 3-spot trim right here.
3-spot sticky. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Batting lineup pussy is so much fun
great.
To talk about.
Well, I mean, it's true, too. Let's be honest here.
It really is.
Let's be honest. You're not getting fucking middle of the lineup fucking trim. You're just not. That is.
Middle lineup squish for you?
You should be getting, you should be getting 7-hole at best. Not
at 180 average. Get out of here. You don't deserve
that. Get the fuck out of here. Nope. Sorry. That is bottom of the order cash, my friend. Not gonna happen. So, but he is into this.
Enamored.
She's a little less enamored with him.
Oh?
Because she has options probably.
Yeah.
She's pretty and stuff like that.
There's probably a little bit of thrill that she's banging a baseball player. There's probably something
I
there.
guess, but we looked at him. Out of uniform. Once he's
there's
done,
not much to be proud of.
Once he's done being in uniform, that's not a real attractive
that's a man. Just missing a tooth.
I could see him, out there playing shortstop in the bright sun with the uniform.
Yeah.
That might be cool. You might go, there's something neat about the way the sun glints off his bat. That's cool.
Not a lot of smiling and exposing teeth going on in the infield.
No, exactly. Not a lot of that either. Exposing your missing smilers. So she's not as into it. Shit started to fall apart because Della started seeing an old boyfriend of hers.
Oh, yeah.
A 28-year-old man named John D. Oren. Okay. This started in July 29. So I don't know if the market crash had anything to do with that. They were like...
Get a little lonely when there's no money and food in the house.
The market done crashed. I can't take it. So she ended her relationship with Sam. I'm done. I'm going back to this guy. He was apoplectic. I mean, he
really
set he stopped playing ball. He got a divorce. He mortgaged his mother's house. He did all this stuff that in his mind that he's like setting up this beautiful, wonderful life. And she's like, I don't know, my old boyfriend's dick is pretty good. I'm going to go there. He's cooler.
He offered. I'm taking it. Yeah.
So he starts drinking extremely heavily. He is pounding the booze, and his divorce becomes final in July also. So she leaves. He's drinking. The divorce papers come. Oh, you're officially divorced. And
God!
And if you don't pay your rent, we're going to take your mom's house. So
you're going to be kicked out of here, and we're going to take mom's crib too.
Did I mention you're a 220 lifetime hitter? Because that's true. Also, that's not great. What was his final average?
He's made more errors. Those 3 in those 2 innings are nothing compared to these errors.
He's a 208 lifetime major league hitter, by the way. 208. That is not terrific.
That's not going to get you in the Hall of Fame, bud.
No, that's not going to get you that 3-spot fucking trim. It's not happening. So his Della here, this is described from a newspaper. Della, 26 years old, blonde and pretty, was married 12 years ago to Howard Davies. That tells you a lot. From whom she became, and there's no other mention of like how weird that is and how gross it is and how can you believe?
Obviously,
she's married when she was 14 because it's West Virginia, and
we don't say 14, we just say 26, married 12 years ago, and let the reader do the math.
Yeah, and West Virginia, you just earned that stick too because this week they just blocked a law that would bar child marriage there.
Unbelievable.
They blocked it. Yeah, one of the representatives said that's part of life in West Virginia, quote unquote.
How could you say that out loud,
Because you're in West fucking Virginia. So don't be upset when we make fun of you when you elect people who...
You make that guy.
I don't know what party. I'm not even getting into all that shit. That's not a matter of that. Whoever fucking blocked it's an asshole. We know that. That's crazy. So...
Also, arrest him. He's I don't know what he's done, but clearly something.
He's either doing something or planning something because he's fucking awfully concerned that we're allowed to marry children.
Favor of it.
Yeah. So, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So she is the mother of a 12-year-old son, Howard Jr., even named it a junior.
Oh,
perfect. Wow. Perfect. And the kid lives with her. And her ex-husband married again and all of that. Here's a picture of her from the newspaper, but it's hard because it's black and white. But there you go.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
I mean,
she's got a soft face. She looks sweet.
Yeah. She doesn't look like some of those old
haggard or anything. Yeah, some of those old gals. Yeah.
Some of the older women look like him. Look like the female version of him, just haggard. And you're like, oh, look at her. It's been a tough life, huh, Grams? And she's like, I'm 23, and you're like, holy fuck. I've had 6 kids die already. Been through a lot.
Her face looks like it could be on a penny or some sort of currency.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and then this guy too. Here, sorry to keep making me come back. This is Oren here.
Oh boy, he looks like
he's more handsome. He's more handsome than Sam.
Why do they all give such a scary look?
It's a scowl back then. They don't want to let you know they're doing too well.
Boy, do I hate this camera.
The depression's coming up. You don't want to,
he feels it.
You don't want
the pinch.
You don't want to act too happy. People will think that they're, maybe you've got some money and then they'll take it from you.
You're the one that did this.
Why aren't you jumping off a building, pal? You don't even look sad. So this whole thing, by the way, from this, we found that he runs Brick and Clay Products, J.D. Oren and Company back then.
Oh, that has
from
got
Harrisburg.
longevity.
So, he runs a brick company. He's making good money that's going to last a long time. So she's making a wise decision.
Making a product that everything's being built out of right now because of those goddamn pesky fires.
Yeah, everything's on fire. Or you could have a mediocre, sun-fucking-scarred, alcoholic ex-baseball player. That's what you could
mortgaging mom's house.
With mom's house fucking mortgaging. So Crane, though, Sam sees this as like he's got to win his girl back.
Oh, challenge.
That's what he sees this as, a challenge, and he's depressed about it, but he sees this as a rivalry between him and Oren.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have this is a rivalry. This has nothing to do with just she doesn't like me anymore. So he, I guess they had been together, I guess, after she got divorced, she got with Oren, and then they had broken up, and then she got with Sam Crane, and then her and Oren got back together. That's how it worked. I mean, that happens. So she now Della's father told her not to go out with Crane. So don't go out with him. She said why, and he said, quote, that he heard unfavorable things about Red. That's the nickname he was going by here. So she said, oh, that's ridiculous. I am absolutely going to go out with him. She did fight with him a lot because he would drive her car around while she was at work at the State Highway Department. And, he was actually arrested and charged with driving her car without consent once they broke up because he still kept driving her car.
That's auto theft.
That's exactly what that is auto theft. She did withdraw the charge against him, though. Okay, she felt bad because he was drunk and everything else. So Della and Oren, when they start hooking back up again, Oren tells Della that Crane had threatened to kill him.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, what the fuck, man? Your ex-boyfriend's threatening to kill me, by the way. Just
to his face.
Yeah, I don't know. Back then, no, he was just texting him. It was on Instagram. It was like pretty.
Write him a letter.
Yeah, it was just an Instagram post. It was kind of like,
It felt like he was subtweeting me. That's what it felt
That's
like.
What it was. That's what it was.
It's about me.
It was like deep on a subreddit, really, is what it was. And he was like hoping that somebody would see it and like bring him in on the conversation. It was very deep.
Dude, girls are doing that today too with like Snapchat and shit. They like
it's
children
disturbing.
are they Snapchat about each other like without saying the name on the slide. It is the most childish, annoying shit.
And children are doing
life,
it.
And it gets in your life and it drives you bananas. I wish they were doing this though. I want these two grown men doing it that way.
Think about it. A guy who owns a brick company.
Yeah.
And this fucking sun-dried tomato of a baseball player sitting there all shit-faced going, well,
yeah.
I'll tell
these
you what.
Bricks won't crumble like your teeth.
Yeah, some of these, they're going back and forth on the whole thing like, oh, well, at least I've done something with myself. I'm a robin. And he's like, well, I have teeth. And he goes back to fucking...
I made so many bricks today and not a single error on these bricks.
Well, they would actually have to be not referring to that person. So it'd have to be real kind of, we'd have to make it so they wouldn't know it was him. Yeah. Just like not know it's him, just like real shitty. Thinking about how can I be super shit. This meme will say what I want to say. And then
here's something somebody else said that I can apply to my life.
Fits perfectly. This fits exactly what I want. Here's a stolen song lyric that someone put on a meme. So this is someone saying something about something that someone already said something about, and I'm going to steal both of those things and make it. This is my personality now. Good.
And this person didn't even write it. Another person did.
Yeah.
And made it famous before this one covered it. And I still want that person to represent my life.
I want that. I like it much better back then when you could just drink and stew in your room. Yeah. Just drink and pace around however big of a living room you have.
Give yourself fucking cirrhosis and blame somebody else for it.
Because there's nothing you could do.
I'm pissing blood, you bitch. You did this.
Goddamn bitch. I haven't eaten solid food in a month. That's because of you. Yeah. And she's not even there.
What do you think happens to loose food on the way out? It's even looser. That's your fault.
She's not even there. This isn't a letter that he's writing that he's going to mail to her.
At a plaster wall.
Oh, man. So there's a letter that Oren shows fucking Della from Crane where Crane says he's going to shoot them both.
Oh.
So he's like, Oren's like, maybe this is, concerning. We should do that.
Yeah.
But they said they were going to tear up the letter and just forget about it. But they said, let's go, rather than the police, they went to a local attorney to ask him about the threat. What do you think about this? Yeah, I would say, what's the attorney going to do about it? The attorney with amazing legal advice here. I hope, I mean, obviously Harvard Law here had something to do with this, Yale, Princeton, something. Told them, quote, not to worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it.
That's a man that's clearly been super threatened before.
Like,
this is shit.
That's nothing. Shoot you both.
Look at this.
Come back when there's detail. Tell me what sexually he's going to do to your heads afterwards. Then when he starts putting that in, that's when he's getting serious. That's when fantasies are forming.
You came through the door that has the knife stabbed in it.
Yeah.
It has my child's pinky in it.
Come on.
Do you have one of those?
You have that? No? Okay. So
he stabbed my child's pinky on my door.
Not to worry about it. That's great legal advice. I wouldn't worry about it. That's good.
I'm not very scared.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, they had been in a fight, by the way, a year ago, Oren and Crane. They got in a physical fight over Della. Just a fist fight. Had some fisticuffs, and, I think maybe one hit the other with a brick, and that was that. Brick versus baseball bat. Let's see what wins.
Whatever happened in that, he did not win the girl.
No, but nobody was injured. There was nothing illegal. It was just a couple of guys having a fist fight over a woman. That's all. So, then Crane ended up becoming the manager of a hotel and cafe. All right. Now, then it ended up closing after 3 months, the hotel, and he was out of a job again. So he's had, through this time, he's writing threatening letters. His girl's gone. He's fucking getting, losing his hotel job. He's really having a lot of problems.
It's not going great.
I would say not. So Oren ends up asking Della to come stay a while at his parents' home. Okay. There. In New Cumberland, which is the first team that Sam signed with.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, From Law and Crime, this is The Rise and Fall of Diddy. Listen to The Rise and Fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
So his mother's sister-in-law had died.
Oh.
Mother's siblings.
That's your aunt.
Mother's brothers, yeah.
Wait,
so
yeah, that's your aunt, right?
I guess by marriage.
Great aunt, yeah.
Yeah.
Great aunt.
Mother's sister-in-law, I guess. I don't fucking know. Yeah.
That's your aunt.
It's your aunt. She died, and I guess his mother was upset, and for some reason he thought that Della's presence would help Mom cope with the death of her sister-in-law. I don't know.
Here's my girlfriend to hang out.
Here's she. She's pretty, right? Yeah. I guess
she's a girl. I don't know what you're going through.
Everything back then was very dark and dingy, and I think if you put a pretty girl in the room, it just makes everyone feel better. I feel like back then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but they also like to match you up with your genitals and be this person matches yours. Yeah. They'll make you better.
You two make potato salad together and talk about it. I'm gonna go in here and drink. That's kind of how it was.
Feel potatoes. We're gonna drink whiskey.
So, she had her own apartment at the time, though. There now, Orrin, like we said, he's got the brick company and all that kind of shit. His parents, he's also got a brother, he's got a parent, he's got a whole family, he's got the whole deal.
Yeah.
So August 3rd, 1929 comes around.
Okay.
Sam gets drunk.
Yeah.
Which means it's any day of the week, really, at this point in time.
But this is right in the thick of the fucking baseball season.
Things are You
think about where you should be, what should be happening.
Yeah,
and you're guzzling booze.
And
stewing in it.
When I drink, I like to just keep a loose gun in my pocket, too. Because
it's preferable.
You know, you never know. Because when you're drinking, you don't know what you're going to want to do.
Listen,
you don't know if you're going to want a sandwich or some pizza rolls later on.
Yeah,
and just like they say, maybe you're going to want to shoot something. Who knows? So you keep it in your pocket just in case.
You may want to skeet shoot those pizza rolls. You don't know.
You don't know it. That's what I mean. And you could be an intruder.
I'll bet. Yeah.
That's going to try to roll you in your drunken state. You never know.
When you're drinking, random shit happens and you just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes a gun needs to be around.
Well, and this is one of those times for Sam. He's decided to just carry a gun loosely in his pocket. He's planning on possibly shooting himself. He's not positive here. He's like, maybe I'll shoot myself today. If I can get enough booze in me, I'll shoot myself. I think it's one of those.
Yeah.
So, okay, here we go. Let's talk about this. This is fucking wild. He will end up the next day surrendering to police. Because of something that he does here in a hotel room on a Saturday night. So, Jesus Christ, this is wild. He's shit-faced.
Yeah.
He walks into, he finds Della and Orrin and just walks into their hotel room.
Oh.
Figures out where they are, bursts into their room. People said he, quote, seemed in a daze. When he walked into the room. Okay,
that's hammered. Yeah,
hammered, dazed and hammered, and he walks in. There's Della, and there is Orrin, and they're sitting there.
What time of day is this?
This is not late at night or anything like that. I think this is like evening time. So as they're sitting there going, "What do you want?" He pulls out a .38 caliber revolver out of his pocket. All right, and turns to Della. You have to set the scene, okay? He walks in, Della's sitting on the bed. What are you doing here? He pulls out the gun. While this is going on, Orrin is sitting in a chair playing the ukulele. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, okay? So he's like strum, prink-a-ding, dink-a-ding, fucking tiny bubbles or whatever the fuck. I don't know what Don Ho sings.
I don't know what any of them sing.
No.
Only one I know with the ukulele is a Hawaiian tune.
Yeah. He's fucking Kaliki. I don't know, something. That's what he's doing.
Merry Christmas to you.
That's the only song he knows. He just sings it over and over again, even though it's August. Is the right way to say Merry Christmas to you. Blink, 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 blink. He's going off on it. He was working on a solo at the time.
Yeah.
Now, as he turns to Jesus Christ, he turns to Della while Orrin's playing the piano and shoots her.
Right there.
Shoots Della, who slides down onto the floor. Okay, Now, Oren springs into action.
Yeah.
The only weapon at his disposal is a ukulele. So he runs up and starts smashing Sam over the head with this ukulele. So now
you only got 2 or 3 swings in you with that little.
It's going to burst after that.
Yeah,
it's
coming apart.
I've seen plenty of guitars used as weapons. That's if you ever watched wrestling, that happens all the time. People, I've never heard of a ukulele. Usually, people that play the ukulele are a milder class than the guitar. Guitar players can be wild. They could be like Slash, kicking whiskey bottles out of the way. They could be crazy, smashing shit. Ukulele players just smile, ping, 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 ping. That's it. They're happy.
Generally a small person. It's a smile and
just a calm guy. Ukulele's a calm instrument. It's a calm person's instrument. So
not necessarily. You can't really rock with that.
No, that's what I mean. I'm sure you can. Now someone's going to send us a video of someone playing playing fucking Master of Puppets on it. We don't care.
I got news for you. It's not rock.
It's not
Put
good.
it away. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, you figured out the chords. Terrific. We don't care. It doesn't matter.
It sounds close, but it's not it.
You could also play it on a flute, on a fucking recorder, on an oboe, I'm sure. I don't care about those either. So
still not rock.
Not
if it was rock, Slash would have used it.
That's what I mean. Imagine him sitting there doing the Sweet Child of Mine solo on a ukulele.
I don't think it's gonna work. I think the producer of that album is going to tell him, put that shit away.
Hey, Slash? Yeah, Slash? Yeah, no, guys, take 5. Slash? No, Slash, you stay here. Hey, buddy? It's just not working, man. I don't know what it is, bro. I'm not feeling the ukulele now.
There's a Fender right next to you. Pick that up. Give that one a try.
Just give that. Yeah, give the electric guitar a whirl. We're going to give that one since, that's been what we've been playing in rock for the last 60 years or so. Go ahead and give that a try and take the ukulele and throw it out the fucking window, please, because that
Give
sucks.
that back to your children.
Yeah. Give that back to your children or some random fat man in a Hawaiian shirt, something. I don't know.
Or a Hawaiian guy sitting in his living room smoking weed. Give it back to him.
Give it back to him because he's the one who should be. Right now, there's a one ukulele short on those islands, and we're
going to need you to feel rage, and that comes from that fucking Fender. Pick it up.
So he starts fucking beating Sam over the head with the ukulele, which is not really that sturdy of a weapon.
I think if there's a paper, rock, scissors, ukulele loses to pistol.
Yeah, it loses to pistol. So it's ukulele, pistol, sling blade, we'll call it.
Yeah. Anything.
And ukulele never wins is the point of that. Ever.
It always loses. Yeah.
So Crane ends up shooting Oren, too. Shoots him twice.
Yep.
Pow, pow. So
that's self-defense right there.
Yeah, we're talking, they're sitting, what a calm day in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just playing the ukulele while you kick back, ping, pa-ding, pa-ding. You're so happy. Boom, here comes your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Strum, strum, shoot, shoot.
Pow, yeah.
Bash, bash.
Whack, whack.
Shoot, shoot. Run, run.
Oh, boy.
That's quite the scene. We've never...
It's ugly, yeah.
In all the small-town murders and all the crime, we've never had a weirder scene, I don't think, than this. So
ukulele as a defense mechanism is certainly a choice.
It's different. So the gunshots draw a big crowd out on the street and in the hotel lobby. So Crane fights his way through that. This is in Philadelphia, and he does all of that. There was people sitting at a table, and they heard what was going on. They carried the wounded people here, Oren and Della, to a car that took them to the hospital.
Yeah.
And at 4:15 in the morning, Oren is pronounced dead of a bullet wound to the abdomen. Now, Della is hanging on. We'll get to her, whether she survives or not. Yeah. Crane, by the way, head gushing blood from being bashed in the face with a ukulele, which is hilarious.
I'm sure those sting, yeah.
It probably hurts because the guitar's got a wider, it's wider, so when you would hit, it would, it would, have some wind resistance, too, that would slow it back a bit. Well, it's bigger, so there's more force, obviously, because it's more mass, but it's a wider bottom, so when it hits you, it would give more. The ukulele is a small thing, so it's going to be, it's hard. Yeah, it's going to whack you like getting hit with a fucking
And if you hit it like an axe rather than open, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you want to hit, you got to go that way. You don't fucking do it open
like
and
a
break
hatchet.
it. Yeah, you got to use the corner of that thing on the guy's head. That'll hurt. That smarts.
Yeah.
So he takes off in his car. Okay, and this is an unfortunate quote from the newspaper here. Crane, his head bleeding from the blow from the ukulele, beat off Leonard Brea.
Really?
Who, according to, he beat him off on
the bloody face.
What it said, bleeding from the blow from the ukulele, beat off Leonard Brea. So, right in the paper,
It's the fortitude. He took it.
He did. He was like, well, all right, I guess so. I mean,
he can focus even with the blood.
Fine, if you're gonna, I don't want to ruin your getaway. So, according to witnesses, Leonard had entered from the bar room with a club, and other men grappled with him as well. So people started trying to grab him and attack him, and he was beating them off left and right, which gets them to stop punching you usually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty calm guy if I'm getting beat off.
That's what I mean. And if someone starts beating you up and you start beating them off, I feel like they'll stop for a second at least to ask what you're doing. Gives you a second to get your breath. It's going to distract, at least.
That is a hell of a move you just did.
You can try that on anything. I don't care if 8 cops are taking you to the ground. If you start beating them off, they're probably going to go, what's going on here? Just gives you a breather for a second is all I'm saying. It's an interesting.
They may say hey, or they may say hey.
Hey, what's going? Hey, ho! Hold on a minute here. Let's give him a second. Let's see where he's going with this. He might have big plans. We don't know. So
I love that they used to say that so much in the paper.
How
long did it take, do you think? How long did that change in the common day lexicon that it became masturbatory?
Somebody typed it and went, that doesn't sound right. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Beat back. Okay, that's better. Beat back. Beat off isn't great.
No more beating off.
No more beating off. So he takes off. Fights his way, beats off a bunch of dudes, fights. He's covered in blood and jizz now. He's got all sorts of stuff going on.
It's a sticky sitch.
It's a very sticky situation. looks like he's got special sauce all over him now. Just jizz and blood mixed together. So he dashes away in his car that he left parked under the 2nd Street Railroad pass of the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Yeah.
3 hours later, while all available police in the city and nearby towns were searching for him. It was
everybody.
Everybody. They knew who did it. He got away. Yeah, he was like, it's crazy. So while that's going on, he just walked into police headquarters and said, hey, I know you're looking for me. And the acting police lieutenant Newmeyer was at the desk, and he says, quote, that he came in. Sam Crane came in and said, quote, I'm told I shot somebody.
You're told that.
That's how shit-faced he was.
Wow.
He's like, I'm told I shot somebody. I'll take your word for it, but I don't remember it.
Blackout drunk.
Shit-faced, hammered.
What the fuck, man?
Fucking shoot your ex-girlfriend while ukuleles play drunk, which is very drunk.
Blackout drunk. What? It's so drunk a ukulele can't stop your rage.
It can't be stopped, but even the sound of it. It's a calming sound.
It really is.
It makes you think of the ocean immediately. So to hear that and be like, you're really pissed.
I see date palms and coconuts, for Christ's sake.
Don Ho was never attacked, from what I understand, in any of his shows. No one ever ran up on the stage and just in a rage beat him savagely. It never happened. He got through all of his shows, real calm and cool.
Every last one of them.
Just people eating poi and enjoying themselves, right? I don't know. So they said that they thought he was very seriously injured. They thought maybe he had been shot in the head because of how much he was bleeding.
Oh,
that dude opened his head up with that ukulele.
Who knew?
Yeah, it's a great weapon, apparently.
I'm going to put one of those next to my bed.
You should. Not great. Well, if the other person has a gun, though, it's not going to work. So. So they had to... they place him under arrest. They take him to the hospital, stitch him up a little bit. Now, at the time, Oren was alive while this was going on. Yeah. So he's charged with felonious assault with intent to kill, and then he died, and then obviously
now it's murder.
It's murder. So he's placed in the county jail where 2 other alleged murderers were presently confined. So they had a nice little triad of murder there. That's nice.
There you go.
He was way too intoxicated to be questioned, the police said that night.
Still.
They couldn't even get anything. He didn't know what he was doing, where he was. He was slurring and everything. So this is crazy. They said that when he walked in, because this happened like in a private area of the bar room. So when he walked in of the hotel, it was 11:15 on Saturday night. They said that most of the people in the bar knew him. So he didn't like draw any attention when he walked in, but he walked through the crowd without saying a word, and then went up the steps leading to the back room, which was where Della and Oren were. So he just walked in like on a mission. Everyone was like, "Hey, what's up, Sam?" And he was just fucking focused, doing his thing here. So he started firing, they said, as soon as he entered the doorway of the room. He fired 5 shots, the first 2 hitting Della, 1 missing completely, and the other 2 hitting Oren.
Right in there, yeah.
Which is pretty impressive for that man who's blackout drunk.
Not bad for hammered, yeah.
He must be a good shot when he's sober. So according to a Miss Lynn Rudy who was there, her companion took the revolver away from Crane, and other witnesses said that he threw the weapon on the bar as he went out. So either way, this guy ended up with it, but there's some description. In one of them, he's heroic and wrestled it away from him. And the other one, Crane came out, put the gun down, like Michael Corleone, who just shot the fucking police captain and drops it and walks away.
That gun was on the bar top. He picked it up and told his girl, I wrestled it from him.
I wrestled it from the murderer's hands.
And she told everybody,
now,
I blew the hero.
Impressed, aren't you? Yes, well, there's a new technique I'd like you to try. It involves your mouth. And, well, I'll explain it further. Come on over here. Here, let's go. Come on. Show me how impressed you are.
Stick your tongue out with this in there.
There you go. Now, nope, like an ice cream. Like an ice cream cone at first, yes, but then, okay, there you are. Okay, better. So,
and I'm done.
And okay, never mind.
Now it looks like you had ice cream.
Oh man, now it looks like you've beat off several men. So, they said, I guess Della, who's alive, kept asking what's up with Jack Oren. Where's Jack? Where's Jack? They said that because she was so wounded, they didn't want to tell her that he died because they didn't want her to fucking go into a tizzy and drop dead. So they told her that he's okay and wasn't badly hurt. He'll be okay. He's fine. They told Della's father that blood transfusions would probably be made to save her life, and that would be needed. So she ends up surviving.
Wow.
She survives it, but Jack Oren's dead.
Did she take both gut shots too?
I think she got I think so. I think they were both gut shots. Body shots. Yeah, just center mass. Pow, pow. No organs, luckily for her, I guess. So they formally charge him with murder. And I like this is from the newspaper here. A formal charge of murder was preferred. I was going to say prepared because that's normal, but preferred against Samuel Red Crane, 34, erstwhile major and minor league baseball player here today in connection with the fatal wounding of John Owen, a brick salesman of this city, and the serious wounding of Miss Della Leiter, 26, also of this city. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oren died 5 hours after the shooting, and Della was still in the hospital, obviously, here, which is interesting. So they get to a trial, and the trial is like it's a spectacle, man. The trial's
circus.
It's a spectacle, because he's a baseball player. People know who he is, so this becomes a real OJ situation.
A man over a gal,
It's got all the things. It's got all the
trimming,
seedy little things that people want in a story like this.
Sure.
So they said that based on multiple testimonies, Crane was staggering drunk when he arrived at the hotel. They said he staggered through the room. He wasn't even walking straight. I don't know how he could shoot that well, but they said throughout the morning he also had stressed that the drunkenness, the absence of premeditation, and lack of threats means that he shouldn't get charged with like premeditated murder. That's crazy. That's what his lawyers are saying. They're trying to say that the discovery of his former girlfriend in the hotel came as a surprise to him.
Oh.
He just was like, oh my God, it's these two, and then shot them. Which all the witnesses said he opened the door and just started shooting. There was no like moment
He was
of realization.
looking for nobody else.
Yeah,
he didn't even look around the room.
With a gun in his pocket. Yeah.
Right.
So testimony given by Pete Lentz said that stuff, and then he said that they said that they thought, although he said, okay, they said, well, the county detective both asked me questions and then answered them. That's what he said. That's what Crane said. So he's saying that I didn't confess. They asked me questions, and then I answered the question, and then they answered the questions for me. He's like, I was drunk. I didn't even know what's going on. He said he drank for hours at his apartment before he went there. Then they said that he got his gun from his steamer trunk, and his friend, who had saw him back at his apartment before he left, said he took the gun out, and the guy persuaded him to put it back. So he said, I thought he put it back and was done with it. Like, I thought I talked him out of it. I didn't see him get the gun back out of the trunk. So at some point after I talked him out of going and doing this,
he got it again.
He got the gun again and was doing it. So they said his friends said they didn't know he was armed at all until he heard that he was firing shots, which is very fucking interesting here. He said that he told them that he wanted to go show the guys at the hotel an autographed picture that he had. That's why he was stopping there. So he lied to his friends about what he was doing. He said he had an autographed picture of Frankie Hayes, the prize fighter, and he wanted to stop by and show it to these guys.
Just showing it off.
Showing it off.
Yeah.
So they said, quote, this is one of his friends, Lentz, we're trying to sober Red up, get him interested in something. That's why we went. So they were like, yeah, great. Yeah, let's go that's better than shooting people.
Let's go walk around, get the blood flowing, get it digesting.
So his defense lawyer's name is Carl B. Stoner, which sounds like a made-up name.
He sure
Carl B. Stoner, baby. Wow. They said that explained his presence in the hotel. He didn't go there to shoot anybody. He just went there to show off an autograph, and then, things lead to things, obviously. So Crane, they said that he's in the same suit every day, by the way, and with a new, I guess so, with a clean white shirt. Wow, they said he appeared at the courtroom at 9:31. So he's there late. They said he appeared to have spent a sleepless night.
Oh.
So he got there a minute late.
Looks like shit.
Looks like shit. I think he just looks like shit, though. I don't think that's...
Yeah, probably.
I think he just looks terrible. So the prosecutor tells the juries that Crane must pay a certain penalty. Must pay a certain penalty, and said that second-degree verdict maybe you guys can give at least here. So now Crane blames Della for all of this.
Sure.
He blames Della, so the defense attorney says that he just wanted to be happily married and do fine. He said they lived together at the 4th Street address, and they said that he'd been drinking for a week before this happened. He ate, quote, practically nothing. That's what the lawyer said. He's just been drinking his food. I'm going to drink my dinner. He's been doing one of those. A telephone call from Della on the night of the murder, they said, happened. She promised to return to him, is what the defense said. They said that she promised to return after, quote, just one more night out.
I just need...
Let me get all of the dick in and out of my system, and I'll be back. Which I don't
just
believe
tonight.
Anyway. Yeah.
Even if that was a thing, that's not going to happen.
That's ridiculous, yeah. So now they also said that Crane had the gun because he was planning on killing himself, not killing anyone else. That's why he took the gun, in case he wanted to blow his brains out. So don't think it was premeditated right there. He said that he didn't know of Della's presence in the hotel when he started going there.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, the wound here, the wounds they describe as peritonitis. Peritonitis. Jesus Christ. I don't know what the fuck. So he's apparently that's what was wrong with her. That's where he hit her, in the periodontist. I don't know.
Right in it, yeah.
Right in the taint, I believe that means. I'm not sure. So they said that when Jack Oren arrived at the hotel, they said that he was feeling good. His friends said we had 4 or 5 mugs of beer. Oren was feeling good, and he was cutting up, so having a good time.
Yeah.
At one time, his friend left, and his a photographer friend said that he had taken some pictures after the shooting. So they also talked about that. They talked about in the trial, like the different pictures of the people around, and the defense was trying to say this person could have told him this, and very silly shit they were trying to pull this defense, because there's really not a lot of defense here. So a witness described hearing shots and seeing Della Leiter crumble to the floor. They said 3 shots were fired, 2 at Oren, who had grabbed the ukulele and hit Crane. They said Della said something to Miss Evelyn Lynn after she was hit, but I didn't hear what she said. So he told he told Leonard here that Leonard Bria, the guy who he beat off,
right?
I guess that Leonard Bria was armed with a stick.
Yeah, he was.
Which Crane beat off.
Yeah.
And he went there, and
how do they not giggle in court when they say that?
That's what I mean. It's fucking ridiculous. So he's the guy.
Holy shit.
He also hit Crane a couple times in the head.
Okay.
So Crane took some shots on the way out, obviously. So I guess one lady or one guy named Renee, they said that the only thing that Jack said as he was dying was, "Hello, Renee," when the guy walked up to him.
Oh,
so
that's so nice.
He was in a nice mood.
You recognized him.
Nice mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they showed they're talking about the gun. They got the murder weapon, and his friend who saw him take it out of the steamer trunk said that looks like the weapon that he took out of the steamer trunk. They also said Crane didn't say a thing when he came in. He looked like he'd been drinking. There was a wild look in his eyes when he came into the hotel, and while shooting was a trifle unsteady on his feet. He wasn't staggering. He swayed from side to side.
Yeah.
Meaning he's a professional drunk.
Right. That's a good drunk right there.
An amateur staggers. A pro drunk just knows how they need to put a little.
Yeah. A little more to that.
It's like how they build skyscrapers to have some give to them. They know, like, oh, I got to give it a little give or else that shit's going to snap and I'm going to fall down. It's why the willow lasts through a windstorm, folks.
You got to give with the climate, babe.
Yep, it goes along with it. While the mighty oak may fall. That's the difference. So, there's more people talking here. They said talking about how long they were at the hotel. They're talking about what did he drink? And they said he drank just beer only. 11:40 p.m. was when they fixed the time of the shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about the ukulele in court, which is hilarious. They said they weren't sure if the ukulele could be heard by Crane in the bar room. Like maybe he was like,
annoying him with it?
No, he heard the ukulele and followed that and knew where they were based on the ukulele. So that would have been interesting.
Just like, where's the son of a bitch playing a goddamn ukulele? I'll murder him.
I will murder the asshole with the ukulele. Maybe that's this equivalent of someone sitting under a tree with an acoustic guitar in the 90s. Yeah. It's like some dickhead with a ukulele. I will fucking shoot him. I swear to God. I will shoot him. If he sings fucking Breakfast at Tiffany's one more time, I'm going to stab him in the throat.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody played in the 90s on their acoustic guitar.
Sure did. That or Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, but that was slower.
Son of a bitch.
The other one had the strumming.
Yeah.
It could just kind of upbeat.
Nice.
Ugh. Kill you if you sing that. Fucking unbelievable. The worst. Jesus Christ. By the way, my cousin who was in a band, one time I came to New York to visit and I went to see their band, and because I hate that song so much, they learned this song to play it because I hated it so much. I was like, that is awesome.
Up, James. I want to show you something.
That is awesome. To learn a song. They all hated it too. To learn a song that nobody liked just to fucking make me laugh. Because I thought it was funny. That's because it's terrible. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I was like, that's awesome. So they talked about, they they question talking about the bullets. It's so funny. Back then, you could really kind of question a medical examiner a lot and act like, well, you don't know what's really going on in there, do you? Yeah. I mean, it's all hocus pocus under the skin, right, Doc? Like, they don't know anything.
Shiny organs and blood and shit, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So yeah, they had all the. One person said that he came out of the room, quote, with a gun smoking in his hand. So a literal smoking gun that a bar room full of people saw.
1920s ammo that still smokes after it's fired.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Here's right from a newspaper, quote, Miss Lynn, a rather attractive blonde, wore one of the new style hats of brown. Who fucking cares? It's a murder trial. This hot chick wore a hat is what they're telling us in the newspaper. Her ensemble was of corresponding blue.
Oh, my.
We have to describe her.
We need the color of the outfit.
Of her hair, hat, and fucking outfit here. She said that Della said as she stumbled, quote, I'm done for. Oh. Thought she was dead. So they said that Mr. Rudy twisted the gun from Sam Crane's hand, so other people saw that. The dress worn by Della was introduced as evidence and identified by a witness, and, they began the cross-examination, and there's photographs and, all this type of shit. They're trying to say the only defense is it came as a surprise to Crane. They can't say he didn't shoot him. So the defense is he didn't know they were there. He was drunk, and he just had a jealous outburst. Okay. So that was that. They said Sam Crane's eyes were glassy when I saw him that night. He looked like he'd been drinking, someone said. She didn't know how drunk he was, but she said, I could tell he was drinking by the glazed look in his eyes. Yeah, obviously. She goes on, this witness, another witness says, Crane staggered into the back room after stepping up to the bar. I was drawing 3 mugs of beer for Crane and 2 other fellas. Before I drew the third, which was for Red, I heard the shots and rushed back. He ordered a beer and was like, I'm going to go shoot these people, and then I'll come back for my beer. Maybe if the bartender gave him his beer first, he wouldn't have done that.
He was already hammered. He doesn't need any more beer anyway.
Yeah. He said, I saw Della and Jack about ready to fall over. When I hit Crane 3 or 4 times, he sort of sagged. He sort of sagged because he got hit with a club and a ukulele.
Right.
He said, I went out back for a policeman, and when I came back, Crane was gone. So then someone said, I saw him in the Adams Hotel drunk every day for 4 or 5 days before the shooting. He was very drunk every time I saw him, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He's just been getting shit hammered. Wow, that is fucking crazy.
Every day.
Every day. A cop who was at the bar drinking said I was at a table by myself. I was drinking a glass of beer, and I heard screaming and shots. Tried to grab Crane, and then he got out of the place. I saw Oren smash the ukulele over Crane's head. 3 shots were fired as I got outside. So I like how everybody was running toward the gunshots, too, which is...
Yeah, that's very heroic.
Very interesting. Yeah, back then, nobody had the fear of it. They're like, well, I'm going to die of the fucking something anyway.
Right.
I'm going to get cholera and drop dead for anyway.
I have cirrhosis now.
Half my kids are dead. Who cares? So... They said that they took the gun from him. He kept telling people on the way out, too, that he just came for a glass of beer, is another thing that he said. I just came for a glass of beer, as he ran away with a smoking gun.
All I wanted was a beer.
I just wanted a beer. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Just one Pepsi. You wouldn't give it to me, so I had to kill 2 people. Play that song with a ukulele.
It's a sad song for that.
Not going to happen. So this trial just goes on. It's basically 20 people saying how fucking drunk he was. His friend said when they came over to get him that a lot of empty whiskey bottles were laying around in his apartment. They said that, I didn't know that he got the gun out of the trunk again. I don't remember this. I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. So either they don't want to say that they knew he had the gun because then they feel responsible, or he just snuck in and got the fucking gun. I mean, that's very possible.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
So,
by the way, it's all fucked.
It's all fucked, yeah. It's all fucked out here. So they said they asked Sam how many drinks he had. He doesn't know. His friend said Crane was so drunk he couldn't find the keyhole of his apartment door with his key. That's drunk. That's like a comical level of drunkenness.
Yeah.
You can't get a key in a fucking lock. That's wild. They said, "What have you been doing, Red?" I asked him, and he had nothing to say. He had been hurt, and we took him to the hospital. That's after the shooting. So they said he kept silent, breaking in only with, "What are you trying to kid me, big boy?" when accused of shooting them. "What are you trying to kid me, big boy?" That's what he said. That was his response to, "Did you shoot those people?" Yeah, you're full of shit.
It's a fascinating old-timey response.
Yeah, that is a really one. "What are you trying to do? Kid me, big boy?"
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Kid me, big boy? You got to go after you do that. It's the only fucking way. So they said that they talk about Della, obviously. There's 4 women on the jury, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, 4 women on the jury, which is interesting.
Giving them opportunities. Very nice. Very
Yeah.
progressive.
I guess so for Pennsylvania. They talk about the other members. This is the members of the jury, by the way. There's a printer here. They give their address and everything. Walter Netzley, printer, 1912 North Street.
Hate that so much.
That is, they used to do that all the time. Morris Miller Jr., a miner. Carrie Bonner, a housewife. J.E. Farnsler, a farmer. Max Katz, a retired man. Lester Hoy, a salesman. Frank D. Brantner. Lulu Powers. Yeah, Lulu. She's a floor lady, whatever that is.
What?
Is that old-timey for hooker?
That's what it sounds like.
Right?
Floor lady. Her tits
Floor
are out all the
lady.
time.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Miss Anna Fritz, a housewife. A clerk named Layla Hambright. A merchant. A railroad man. Okay.
That's it.
So
Railroad man.
Railroad man. That's how they list him. A railroad man of 1325A Vernon Street. So originally there was 35 men and 23 women summoned, and that's what they whittled it down to.
Okay.
From this trial, okay, I have to, right during this shooting and the arrests and everything, there is an article in this paper.
Oh, boy.
I'm just going to read it to you. Quote, "Choose leaves at work only to find their poison ivy." That's the title of this. This idiot.
Oh, God. He chewed it, not chose it.
No, chewed.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, God.
Like people back in the day when their mouth was dry, there's no water, they just used to chew
pick up some
leaves.
leaves. Oh, my God.
I've heard of people saying that's how they started chewing tobacco, was someone told them in the summer when you're thirsty, you don't need to drink water all the time if you just chew tobacco.
Is that right?
Sparky Lyle, the relief pitcher for the Yankees who wrote Bronx Zoo, said that's how he started chewing tobacco, was roofing with his dad when he was 15. He kept coming down in the summer to get water.
Moist.
And his dad said, quit coming down, you're wasting all this time, and threw him a pack of Red Man and said, fucking put that in your lip and you won't have to take drinks so much.
That is not how you keep water in your body.
That's very good parenting right there. Not only do you not get water in the heat, but here, have some chewing tobacco.
Holy shit. Pull that water out of your body while you're also sweating, and don't replenish it.
Oh, my God. Hereafter, Addison Benjamin, 21, state highway employee, will be more careful of the kind of leaves he chews to keep his mouth moist while working on the road. Addison's face began to swell up while he was working yesterday on a road near here, and he was rushed to a local hospital. There it was discovered he'd been chewing poison ivy leaves. His head, arms...
They sweet?
No, they're fucking awful. His head, arms, shoulders, and chest are badly swollen, they said.
Oh, dear Christ.
Imagine what his mouth feels like.
Yeah, when you touch it, it fucks you up, and you put it inside you.
So you put it inside. Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Jesus.
Your mouth, your throat. Right under that is a woman who likes her Senate job, it says above her.
Oh, she's enjoying it.
Likes her Senate job. She says chauffeuring a typewriter for a bunch of senators is flocks of fun.
Flocks of it.
Flocks of it. So there's that. Now, by the way, Della was in the hospital for a while this all started going on. She dies of her wounds. So it becomes a double
murder.
A double murder. Yeah. This is not good at all for him.
Shit.
So on September 25th, 1929, like a month and a half after the actual thing happened, which is so soon, he is found guilty of second-degree murder.
One count.
Of Leiter, yes. This sentence would originally carry a 10 to 20-year prison sentence.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that. Yeah, the jury found him guilty of second-degree murder for Della Leiter and is still under indictment for the killing of John T. Orrin. I guess
we haven't even settled that.
Haven't gotten there yet. They said in his instructions, the President Judge William J. Hargest. How are you President Judge? President Judge. Oh, preside. I think they mean presiding.
President.
It's not. It's spelled president, which is not. I think they mean presiding.
Right?
I guess maybe it is. I don't know. Told the jury to return a second-degree verdict carrying 10 to 20 years imprisonment if they found Crane had been in a drunken stupor. So this is the drunken stupor thing. So they said yes. So on March 26, 1930, he's convicted of second-degree murder of Orrin as well.
Okay.
And he's sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 8 to 16 years in prison.
Okay.
So
that's not a lot.
By the way, both trials, prosecutors asked for the death penalty.
And they got him 8 to 16. That's a huge win.
They asked for premeditated first-degree death penalty, and everybody said he's so drunk and they can't say it was premeditated. So that's how it worked. Both trials, the jurors ended up saying that it was due to his level of intoxication why they let him go. So his final sentences the judge sets are 18 to 36 years in prison. Fuck off. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, not bad. So he's imprisoned at the Eastern State Penitentiary. He, by the way, from what we can find, is the first major leaguer convicted of murder.
Is that right?
That we can find. That maybe there was a guy who played for a week and got, but like the guy who was actually a legit in the league for a few years, major leaguer here.
Traded for and double what he's worth, for Christ's sake.
You like to be known for things, and being the first in baseball is very nice, but not that. That's not the first thing you want to go on. And
that's the only thing he's got.
You almost feel bad for the guy for that.
Yeah.
I mean, almost. I mean, I do. I feel bad for him, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Sam Crane. First of all, this one, Sam Newhall Crane, second baseman, another baseball player,
poor bastard,
who died in 1925. He's a fucking. He also played, by the way, for the Buffalo Bisons. He played for the Cincinnati Reds of the Outlaw Reds of the United Association. He was a manager player, and I believe he is in the the Baseball Hall of Fame as well, this poor bastard.
That?
Yes. His career ended, though, when he was arrested after an affair with the wife of a fruit dealer, and he stole $1,500 from the fruit dealer, and that was the end.
At least he didn't murder him.
That's what I mean. That was the end of his career in disgrace at that point.
That's all this guy had to do was rob him.
Yep, that's it. So, he was. They said that after an article about it, he was barred from entering the Polo Grounds. When he showed up for an August 16th game, he learned that he was cut.
Wow.
And then he tried to buy a ticket, and they said, you're not allowed to buy a ticket either.
You can't even come in.
They didn't even they not only cut him, they fucking banned him from the park because he did this.
You're not even allowed to be here to buy a hot dog, you son of a bitch.
They didn't even take him in to tell him. He just found out at the gate. Also, Sam Crane, writer from the UK, an actor and a writer who was on The Crown and a couple other things. Sam Crane, owner and president at Sam Crane Electrical, LLC in Florida. And finally, my favorite, because he cares about women so much, Samuel Crane, MD, assistant professor of family medicine, School of Medicine. His expertise is in family medicine. His specialty focuses are fertility, women's midlife care, and women's health.
Really giving a shit.
And he's not currently accepting patients. He's got his hands full. So in prison, he plays for the prison team. Why not? There's a prison baseball team. He plays shortstop and outfield for them. Mm-hmm. He works as a clerk and drove the prison fire truck also.
Really?
Yes. I guess when you're not drinking constantly.
Yeah, they can trust you to do shit.
You're really bored, too, and that's what happened. He was trying to be productive and shit. He keeps applying for pardons during this whole time and keeps getting turned down.
Pardons?
Wants a pardon. But I played baseball, damn it. Give me a pardon.
The lack of remorse is insane.
Don't worry. Connie Mack is going to get silver here pretty quick.
Oh.
So local semi-pro and amateur clubs, by the way, would travel to prison on Saturday afternoons to play the prison team until 1934, when a very large riot turns the whole... Now no one's allowed to do any of that shit anymore. This is August 27th, 1934. The newspaper says, Graterford riots renewed, officer shot in accident.
Oh.
Bedlam starts when restive convicts are sent back to cells. $40,000 worth of damage. Let's see. State troopers armed with machine guns continue to patrol the yards of the Eastern State Penitentiary today, following a second uprising of prisoners.
Oh, boy.
The second outbreak at the model prison occurred last night. This is their Oz. If anybody's ever seen Oz, if you've never seen Oz is an HBO show, number one. It's very well done. Don't watch more than 2 episodes at once because you will be in a deep depression because you feel like you're in prison. But it's the point of Oz. It's a prison within a prison. There's a regular prison. It's all whatever. And then Oz is this experimental thing where the people have the freedoms of the outside world just inside. They're allowed to leave their cells. Their doors are open. They're allowed to have they're allowed to interact more. It's a thing to see if that will help quell violence and recidivism and all that shit. That's
see if we can really actually correct these people.
Yes, if you teach them to do life things while they're in there, they have to do their own laundry, they have to do all that. If you teach them to do all that stuff, maybe they'll be better prepared for it on the outside. Is that's the theory here. So this was about 500 convicts in the recreation yard were ordered to return to their cells 2 hours ahead of usual time. Bedlam started. One group who had been herded into a cell block shouted curses and banged their eating utensils on the steel bars. Because that's back when they'd feed you in the cell, so you had your shit in the cell. They said so. 200 other prisoners in a barbed wire stockade started to climb the fence. 60 troopers and highway patrolmen on guard in the cell block rushed into the yard. Machine guns, submachine guns, and pistols were trained on the yelling men.
Oh, boy.
Under threat that the state officers would shoot to kill the convicts submitted. Not a shot was fired and no tear gas was necessary. Warden, this is a great name, Herbert Hardboiled Smith. That's what they call him, hard-boiled. He immediately ordered 74 of the leaders of the disturbances Saturday and Sunday transferred to the Eastern Penitentiary in Philadelphia. So this is from about 2 days later. Quote, 1,273 locked in cells without supper after strike at Cherry Hill. Clubs quiet unruly men. So they beat the shit out of them with clubs. Machine guns and tear gas guns in the hands of a large force of Pennsylvania State Police last night awaited the move of striking convicts at Graterford and Cherry Hill and new and old prisons of the Eastern Penitentiary. So this is like turning into like it's spreading throughout the system now.
Yeah.
A strike.
Everybody's gotten word that they can do it.
Yeah, a strike of nearly all of the 1,273 prisoners at Cherry Hill yesterday in sympathy for leaders of the Saturday's riot at Graterford added to the potential danger of the situation. But prison officials, while concerned, expressed satisfaction at the precautions which have been taken. Quote, "We're ready for anything," one official announced.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Guards wear helmets, it says. A machine gun nest was established atop a powerhouse at Graterford. 2 picked gunners were stationed there, ready for instant action. State troopers patrolled the grounds in cell blocks with rifles. Guards wore football helmets and carried baseball bats.
My God.
Mixing up their metaphors there. Not metaphors, but their real shit. Any prisoner who attempts to leave a cell without permission is to be shot, was the specific order given the troopers. Trouble has been brewing at the Cherry Hill prison, Fairmont Avenue and 21st Street since the ringleaders of Graterford were transferred there. On the stroke of 10 o'clock yesterday morning, 300 prisoners in the machine, tailor, loom, shoe, and print shops dropped their work and sent up a shout of everybody out. So they all just went on strike at the same time. An equal number of prisoners in the yard and on maintenance work joined them. The remaining prisoners exercising in the yard walked back to their cells. So prison officials didn't hesitate. Warden Smith ordered everybody locked up. No violence occurred, but a fight between strikers and non-strikers was narrowly averted. The prisoners were fighting each other.
Right.
Like, hey, you pussies, get with us.
Stop this. You're going to fuck our lives up.
And
no,
hey,
you stop.
Yeah,
you
stop
rise
being
up.
pussies. Yeah. So they went back and forth. Some prisoners were prevented from destroying machinery by other strikers who, through joining in the walkout, looked forward to returning to work later. Some of the guys were like, well, don't destroy the machines. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of like an Oz thing. So here's an article. What's the trouble? Another model prison gone haywire. Seems as if the better some people are treated, the more they expect. At any rate, that is the size of the recent Graterford riots. The jail was constructed as a model prison, and either such a consummation was not reached or, quote, the cure is making them worse than before. Maybe some strong-arm methods might carry a plainer message. After all, the public did not put the inmates into jail for the fun of keeping them. Mm-hmm. So they're sitting there going, fucking, well, this is why you give people. Meanwhile, there's riots in prisons where they're horrible to them.
Yeah.
Or basically, if you take a bunch of criminals and you put them all in one place, sometimes they'll do wild shit. Doesn't matter what you do. But generally, treating them a little bit better definitely is makes less.
Yeah, they'll do their time and get out. But
makes for less shit.
Some people you just can't do anything with. They're just going to be dicks because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Some people, James, just like to watch the world burn.
That's it. Is it punishment or is it rehabilitation? Who knows?
Right.
And
who knows?
Yeah, it's weird. So
depends on the criminal.
Yeah. Now, there is something in this paper here, though. At the Columbia, this is, I guess, a movie, I suppose, what this is. The entire week, beginning tomorrow, quote, Chicago Sal, cabaret dancer, companion of crooks, would become worthy an honest son of the soil. Can she reform? Is it her problem that of modern days answered in the gripping sensation? Environment. That's the name of this movie.
Okay.
And that's how they advertise it. Do you want to see that? I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't know what it's about.
And there's a cartoon called Flies also. So
gross.
Apparently, she's a cabaret dancer who's going to go be a farmer. Can she pull it off? Or he. Yeah, Chicago Sal. There's a drawing of a lady who's dressed like a flapper girl. She's got like the...
And that's Sal?
And that's Sal, I think. And then there's a guy who's like holding up a young boy who looks like a
or is that
downtrodden farmer. I'm not sure. Either way. So
see it to find out.
Yeah. So in prison, Crane spent his time listening to baseball games on the radio.
Sure.
Which seems like it would be painful. He read the sporting news and discussed baseball with other inmates. He was just all about baseball. He performed clerical duties in the superintendent's office. Like I said, drove the prison fire truck and even kept a pet squirrel.
Who is he?
What a weird guy.
Yeah.
He's a strange man. Driving
He's
around
a model prisoner, though, yeah?
He is a model prisoner. Yeah. Driving around the fire truck with a squirrel on his shoulder is just a weird guy, right?
And doing the warden's paperwork with the squirrel on his lap.
Yeah. His mother would come see him all the time. Billy Whitman, who was a scout for the Cubs and Browns, would come see him all the time. And Connie Mack would come see him all the time.
Is that right?
Yes. Other baseball guys here, too. Most of them you've probably never heard of because I haven't heard of most of these. Yeah. Chief Bender, Max Bishop, Lena Blackburn, Joe Boley, Jack Coombs, Harry Davis, Bill Killifer, Bing Miller, Jesus, Brick Owens. That's a great name, yeah. Brick Owens.
A guy named Brick coming to see you after you've murdered a guy that does that.
Herb Pennick, all sorts of guys. So he started applying for parole every year beginning in 1934, which is when the riots happened. And he stopped playing baseball, so he's bored.
Okay, yeah.
He was the favorite of the warden, Elmer Leister, who said, quote, "He has learned his lesson, and I honestly believe he could be a useful member of society again if given a chance."
Are you out of your fucking mind?
He's got the warden's backing, and every year Connie Mack would come before the parole board and plead for him.
And beg, yeah.
And Connie Mack in Philly is a fucking, I mean, he's an icon there. He was the owner of the baseball team, and the guy, he's Mr. Baseball there. Like, they respect the fuck out of him. In 1935, he told the board, quote, "I'm afraid that if something is not done soon for this boy, it will be too late." He's 40, by the way. He's not a boy. If something's not done for this boy, it will be too late. He's on the verge of a mental breakdown. He said that, quote, I think the ends of justice have been met by Crane's exceptionally good record. He's good now, guys. So Whitman and Mack provided character letters for him at every parole hearing and pledged to look after him if he was granted release, too.
Oh, we're going to babysit him for you.
They told the parole board that Mack said, "I'll give him a job," and Whitman said, "I'll give him a place to live." So he's not going to he's nobody's problem if you let him out.
Yeah.
So the next year, again, he said, "Gentlemen, please give this man his liberty before it is too late. He's at the point where he is losing hope. He's determined to make good. Give him that chance, please, before he is beyond redemption." So, really doing that. 1940 comes along. Yeah. Connie Mack told a reporter who was headed there to the prison to give a message to Sam here, or give a message to Crane. He said, quote, "Tell Sam to keep a stiff upper lip. Sam should have his liberty. He's paid his debt to society. I've got a job for him at Shibe Park the moment they decide to release him to my custody." So, however, every year that would happen, but also the Leiter and Orrin families would show up and oppose his parole every year as well.
Exactly, yeah.
They carried a little more weight. But by 1944, tide starts to turn a little bit. The warden said, quote, "He's learned his lesson. He could be a useful member of society." He reiterates that. Right. On September 5th, 1944, at 49 years old, Crane is finally granted parole.
Is that right?
Yep. He said the first thing he wants to do when he gets out, or one of the first things, is because they said, "What are you going to do now that you're out?" And he said, "I want to see a night game," because that was a new thing.
I'm going to learn the ukulele.
Yeah, I'm going to learn that uke, man. That looked pretty hot shit. He sounded good, I'll tell you. You get all the pussy.
I want to see a night game.
He wants to see a night game, which, I mean, if you're a lifelong ball player, that's like, holy shit, they play at night now. That's crazy. That had to be a really wild thing.
There's lights and shit.
Wow. He said, quote, "Uppermost in my thoughts at this time is to thank everyone who has helped me in this struggle. I'd like to get some new clothes, see my mother in Harrisburg, and go fishing."
Okay.
Very simple things. I'd like to not wear a prison uniform, say hi to my mom, maybe drop a pole in the water.
I'm going to not murder women. I didn't hear him say that.
Maybe not murder women and beat off some guys. We'll see what happens. In October, he's offered a job working maintenance at Shibe Park.
What?
Connie Mack kept his, he's going to be an ex-ball player, going to come and work maintenance. It's a $35 a week job.
Jesus.
And he turns it down because World War II is really cooking, and you can get there's really good jobs out there to get in war, plants and factories. So he gets a much better job out of that. So he lasts a few more years. That's 1944. And then on November 12th, 1955, he dies of cancer after a long battle with cancer at Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia. And
miserable way to die.
Yep. He's at Hillside Cemetery in Philadelphia. In one of his obituaries from the Sporting News, it said that he's survived by a wife and 2 children.
What?
Beats the fuck out of me. I didn't know he had a wife. Didn't know he had 2 children at any point.
Holy.
I don't know if the Sporting News knew more than we found or what, but that's all we could find on him. And that...
I don't want that to be true at all.
No, right? He got married, started pumping kids out? What the fuck?
Right.
That is Sam Crane, everybody. Quite the weird story. Old-timey, strange... murder.
Love triangle.
What a weird murder. It's just
a bad man.
Such a strange murder. Like this, if the sound of ukulele sends you into a bloodthirsty, murderous rage, you need to figure your fucking life out. Calm down.
I also kind of get it.
At the same time, if you're playing the ukulele, shut the fuck up, too.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah. In any environment outside of a beach, I don't want to hear that shit at all.
You play that shit
Yeah.
on a stage and sing comedy music, I'll beat you to death.
I will beat you to death with that. Beat you to death. Absolutely. Who the fuck plays the ukulele that's not annoying? I'm trying to think of one person.
I mean, nobody.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody.
It's the most annoying instrument
I almost
on
said
the planet.
Steve Martin, but that's a fucking banjo.
Yeah.
But he plays the ukulele in The Jerk, which
Yeah.
makes me think of that. That's
does,
the only time
It's just
it's not annoying.
Terrible instrument. There's those girls that do it that are comedian girls that have like
that's not
filthy songs, but they're girls. You know, what I mean? It's not a
dipshit guy playing for pussy.
It's some
Yeah, I
dickhead
gotcha.
trying to get laid.
Yeah. And singing funny songs with a ukulele is not being a comedian. That's
no, it's not
being a hack.
No matter what
terrible
music
person.
you use.
Yeah, that's ruining the craft is what that's called.
Yeah.
Destroying it, crushing it
Son
beneath
of a
your
bitch.
boot. So, if you like that story, tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on and give us 5 stars because it really does help drive the show up the charts. It's a helpful thing for your boys here, so do that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets to live shows. The whole slate of 2023 live shows for Small Town Murder are now for sale, and you better get in there fast because Salt Lake City, Boston, those are sold out. Denver, San Diego, Minneapolis, and a few others are getting goddamn close, and they're months and months away. So people are buying tickets at an awesome level, and we appreciate that. So get in there if you want tickets. We are... Shit, if you're listening to this when it comes out this week, we're going to be in Seattle the 23rd, the 24th in Seattle, and then the 25th we're in Portland for 2 shows there.
Right.
So come see us. Come see a live show.
Yeah.
Let's say you can't get out. Maybe you're in Australia or England or somewhere like that. Can't get to a live show. Well, guess we're West Virginia. I don't know. You're trapped in a holler. We have for you the virtual live show. 420, just like a regular live show, except you're going to be in your living room. We're going to be doing our thing with the pictures and everything like that. And since it's 420 on April 20th, I'm going to get Jimmy very stoned.
Yes.
Very stoned and make him try to follow a murder story. It's going to be hilarious. So get your tickets right now for that. That is shutupandgivememurder.com for all those things. That show will be available for a week after we do it, too. So you can buy it and watch it and do whatever you want. You can watch it 20 times in that week if you feel like it. So
do whatever you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want. Also, one thing you should do, though, whether you want to or not, is follow us on social media.
Please do.
At Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Definitely do that. And you also definitely want to sign up for Patreon. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of the bonus materials. We're talking, Jesus, it's got to be almost 200 now. It's got to be pushing 200 in bonus episodes. So many bonus episodes. You're going to get the whole back catalog immediately, and you're also going to get new episodes every other week. 2 new episodes to be exact. This week is no different. This week you're going to get, for Crime and Sports, you're going to get, we'll talk about the worst team that's ever existed in any sport. The 0-20
expansion ever.
Yeah, the 0-26 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who started their existence at 0-26 before winning a game, and it was ugly. Why is there a guy winking on the helmet? Why are you choosing that color? What the fuck is going on? And why did this? Why was it such a disaster? We'll go into all of it, and it's really fucking hilarious. And then for Small Town Murder, holy shit, do we have a wild one here? Ooh. We always look for a different angle on the story, and we've found many, many points of entry to Jodi Arias that we're going to talk about.
Angles.
Lots of angles, lots of ways.
It's a different positions to look at.
You can get inside her head from many different avenues is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
So we'll talk all about her and her craziness and her murder. Jesus. And that was a brutal thing that she did too. It's wild.
Maybe the worst woman on the planet.
No, there's always Casey Anthony. She always exists. Sorry. Jodi killed this guy. That's fine. At least they're adults.
Yeah, she killed an adult.
Yeah. That kid was cute as fuck. That Casey Anthony is fucking the worst person who's ever lived.
She's a monster.
Yeah. So we'll talk about her at some point too, because
she's a piece of shit.
Well, she tried to put that thing out saying that, which was just
what the fuck, lady,
spinning horse shit. And if you look, when you compare it, what she said to actually. If you watch that, have the evidence next to you. Have the court documents next to you, like I literally did, and they don't match up at all. She's full of shit is what it is, and she's a terrible murderer. But that's not what we're talking about this week. We're talking about Jodi Arias. Yeah. And we'll talk about that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And, of course, you get a shout-out at the end of the show, and that is, for fuck's sake, right now.
Hey.
Jimmy, hit me with the name of the list, with the list of people, the name of the list, with the list of the names of the people who would never, ever, ever, ever shoot us for playing the ukulele poorly. Jimmy, hit me with that list.
This week's executive producers are Karen from Alabama, Adam Simon, Brian Whitney. Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday.
Sophie Santo probably, and her sister in Austria. Thank you so much.
Thank
Jordan
you.
Bennett in Canada, Florence Cullerton, Stephanie Saloff. Happy birthday, Stephanie.
Happy birthday.
Robert David, Matt, and Devin Jennings. Thank you so much, you guys, for everything you do. Other producers this week are Corporal Carl Kirshner, Carly Mann from Home Run Espresso, Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Anna Lou, I think, Cody Leversey in Detroit. We'll see you soon. Eros Whiskey and Tequila at Centennial Kennels in Canada. Catherine Collado, Andrew Youngberg had a cat. What is this? Had a cat named... Andrew had a cat named Burgoo. I imagine that cat is dead. And I hope you didn't eat your cat.
I hope not either. I hope they didn't turn it into Burgoo.
His dad named it Burgoo, I think.
No.
That's wild.
Little
What a
Burgoo.
weird place we live in. Carrie Klemek, Nicole Clausen, Janice Hill, Mary Kip Sousley. Congratulations on your divorce. Dan's mom, Anita Penis. I hope she gets it. Mike,
Good for you. Good luck.
Mike Hawk. I hope you're proud of that one as well. Darcy Standifer. You'll never make the 6. What is that? Oh, who said that? In what movie? You'll never make the 6. I think that's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right?
Oh, you'll never make. Yeah, probably.
I think so. Tatum, with no last name. Keelan McCollin, Alex Patterson, Laura Varney, maybe Jim's
wife?
daughter. Yeah,
Jim's wife or daughter.
Laura. Amelia Boyd, Rachel Ugly, Banjo Bobby, Samantha with no last name, Jen Lacombe, Adam Clark, Annie Skelton, Mike Lendy, Chris Furness, Holly Tregurtha, Brendan Small, JD with no last name, Taylor with no last name, Catherine Cook, Mama Lovejoy, JD Uwalt, that's what it is, Weltz, Toivonen, Weltz Toivonen. That's not right.
Yeah.
Ben Bauer,
Welch.
Cassie Ferreira, Janet Lunn, Isabella Moore, Michelle Trash. Oh, it's Thrash. Sorry about it, Michelle.
Jesus Christ.
Jack Welker, Nicholas Waldowski,
Michelle,
Megan
you trash.
Megan McCausland, Sarah Murphy, Nicole Schlutz. Tanya
careful
Smith
with that one.
is sincerely Juan Reyna gonna work here anymore.
Yeah.
Mary Skaggs, Jordan Freeman, Rome Upton, Amanda Meyer, Bebelcher, 1999, Ashley Lovelace, Aaron Winston, Marcy Ron, Ches Spicer. Morgan O'Leary, Julie Ramsey, Pam Karen Kerensky. Yep. Sam Richardson.
Richardson?
What the fuck is happening? That's not real. Jessica. Who says that?
Jesus
Jessica.
Christ.
It's real. It's the classy way of saying Richardson.
Richardson, sir.
Richardson, party of four.
Oh, my God.
Jessica Rotondo, Allison Davis, Reed Hyam, Rosalind Reinhardt, Nathan with no last name, Theodore Glossmeyer, Tim Rose, Heather with no last name, Wanava, 123, Genu, Cortez, hey. Alexandra Keller, Joshua Baker, Jennifer Hayer, Lisa Harper, Tabby with no last name, Michael Sack, Jake with no last name, Amy with no last name, Allie, Sprague, Rachel Souter, Joshua Cates, Alas Rocham, Jen Dahl Colson, Caitlin Bauer, Maria with no last name, Jariah with no last name, Samson, 72, Dante Prince, Stina with no last name, Chad James, Siddhartha Saunders. Meg, I'm saying it the same way 4 times. I apologize. I haven't changed a thing with that.
Richardson.
Obviously. Megan Wilson. Brian Freeman. Smokey McPot, 30. Matt. Giovanni Gibellini. Is it Gibellino? Is it Gibellino or Gibellino? Gibellino? What do you do? How do you say that? What do you do there?
It could be anything, honestly. I'll go with the good, though. I'll go with the like
all
a
right,
ghost.
Probably not Giovanni Gibellino.
Might be.
It's very nice. I just don't know how to say it.
It's very operatic, but we don't know how to say it. I gotta see
Goat
it.
Sally, Dustin Howe, Kelly with no last name, Cleo the Crime Cat, Kimberly Kaiser, Mary Kate Smoulion, Mallory Ledford, Steve Hollins, J.R. DeGraw, maybe it's Junior, Danielle Hunter, Tammy J. Van Dyke, Rayon McVeigh, Rain, it might be Rain, Dana Blake, Brandon Roth. Rayanne?
Followed by Nylon McGee after him. That's
then Silk Stevens.
Brandon
Roth, Adam Caswell, Christina Dietz, Chris Eggleston, Adria, no last name, Sean Howard, Chris Motley, Melissa with no last name, Brittany McBriar, Heather with no last name, Carter Black, Leslie Savage maybe, Clarissa Phillips, Lori Wolf, Justin Ballou, Kevin Fike. Oh boy, Macy with no last name, June Hall, Jessica Pedigo, Jason maybe, Asia D. I don't know. It's a capital JSONN. Is that Jason or is it Jason?
That sounds like a tag, like somebody's fucking tag.
It does.
Yeah.
Asia B, Amanda J, Dakota Martin, April Sargent, Stephen Walters, Wilters. There's no A, it's an E. Welters. Hey,
like a welt. You know, like E's make the S sound. You know how that goes.
I'm trying to do it like Stewart.
That was amazing.
Wilters.
It's like what? Just welter, I think, is probably easy.
Just read the word, dummy.
It's just like a. You were saying, I'm like, is he? He can't mean this, and then I'm like, I think he does mean this. I better say it.
Jaws with no last name, Pasqua de Giannatasmo. What is that name? Degia Diagentamaso. It's fucking Italian.
Centani, okay? Here you go.
Arian Diaz. Jillian Alston. The other player, Timothy Towson. Emmy with no last name. Rebecca Hiltz. Jennifer Lamas. David Gerard. Tony Villa. Loretta B. Robert David, Stephanie, Martin Karsten Podoluk, Luke Rudder, Blue Nanagu, Joshua Rosado, Taylor Mewfelder, W. Cox, Nexus Infusion, CJ McCann, Xana Roth, Lena Mao, I think, Arizona Mom Stacy, Laura with no last name, Mary Ballway. Oh, boy. Heather Hawkins, Harrington, Michael Klein, Matt Stapleton, Maddie Peleshy, Molly with no last name, Sherry Lee, Catherine Mahoney, Josh Jordan, and all of our patrons. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, so much for what you do for us every fucking month and week and year, and thank you so much, honestly, for what you do. We'd appreciate the hell out of it.
One day. Yeah.
One of these days, Jimmy will figure out how to pronounce Italian names, but till then, we shall suffer.
Or normal names.
We'll suffer in silence, or any name, like Richardson. That's fine, but thank you for doing all that. If you want to follow us on social media, real easy to do that. Just head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Links to everything there that you could possibly want, including social media shit. Keep doing that. Keep coming back. Keep seeing us live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.